Something About Her had a soft open. Lala is going to address one of the podcasters. Rachel Raquel is speaking out in favor of Lala and explaining a little bit about her lawsuit. Tom Schwartz says Joe is a liar. Sheena has lots of opinions. We have so much to talk about on today's episode of No Offense, All Offense. So happy Saturday, you guys. Grab a beverage. Hopefully you're wearing something comfy, and let's get started.
If you like what you see, come and get it with me. I know you deserve all you want, 'cause your heart's made of gold. But don't wait till you're old. If you want it, I get you some.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, stand-up comedian and pop culture vulture. Joleen Lunzer here to talk about our favorite trending news topics in pop culture, reality shows, and everything in between. We take a comedic look at these things. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we don't. Just a reminder that I am extremely opinionated, but you don't have to agree with me. You can agree to disagree. That's what the comment section is for, and our live chat. As long as you're not being a butthole, we can all coexist and have our own opinions.
That's my opinion!
That's my opinion. So happy Saturday, everybody. If you're joining live, hit that like. If you're joining later, hello, replay crew, hit that like as well. If you want to support the channel further than liking or subscribing, you guys know the drill. You can always send a super chat while we're live. I'll highlight your comment. We can talk about it. You can send a super sticker. You can send a super thanks after the video post. Thank you to those of you who have been doing that. You can also join my YouTube membership or my Patreon. And I think today, later this afternoon, Nana and I are going to be having a night pants with Nana. So get ready for that. That's when, if you're new to the channel, that's when we bring my mom, aka Nana, and we talk about all kinds of things. And that'll be available for members and on YouTube, and also some of the Patreon supporters as well. So yeah, I also have Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. Everything is at the bottom of the screen and in the description of the video. I also want to give a huge shout out to my friend Christina Coca. She made a fantastic video. You guys have probably already seen it, but let's just say you haven't seen it. Okay. I want you to check out, oh, I can pull it up right here. She put so much work into this, you guys, and her investigative journalism shows. So let me just show you. I'm not going to play her video because I want you guys to go over to her channel and watch it and give her all the views and ad revenue, because she worked really hard on this. And I know what that's like. I haven't done a video. I don't think I've ever done one quite like this. This is very, this is intense. Like, she grabbed all the receipts, Lala and Sheena, and did a timeline of them being horrible friends. So when they try to rewrite history and they try to gaslight us, I probably should have, poor Christina, I got her with her eyes closed, but she still looks beautiful. You know, they try to rewrite. Christina's like, here's a fact with dates, with clips. It's freaking amazing. So go show her all the love. If you're new to her channel, tell her Joleen sent you, and leave some comments, up her engagement. That is at Coca everyone on YouTube. Let's see, make sure that I got it right. Yeah, let me drop her link just in the chat here so you guys can open a new tab if you want to head over there now and give her a subscribe, because we're also, I say we, but we're supporting women. We support our women. Unlike the Vanderpumprules ladies, we support our women friends. So she's coming over. She's over on YouTube now, and we want her to keep growing, and she's already over 5,000 subs. So let's just keep her growing. She's putting out such good content and putting in hard work that it just takes a lot of time, and she had to listen to them. Like, that's go Christina. So yes, professionally executed with perfection. It's so good, you guys. So go show Christina all the love, and I'm going to have her back on over here. I still got to ask her. I was just texting with her this morning, but maybe next week or the week after, so we can get a Joleen and Christina break down the reunion. Next week, I also have so many fun friends coming on. I have my friend Rebecca Lieb. She's a hilarious comedian. She has a Vanderpump Rules podcast. If you're not aware of her, she's a writer. She has lots of podcasts, but she has specifically a Vanderpump Rules one. You've probably seen her on TV with stuff. Like, she's just fantastic, fellow Midwestern girl. She will be on Monday, and then Ryan Bailey is going to be joining me Wednesday. So after I do my Tuesday night little live emergency recap of the Vanderpump Rules reunion. Ryan and I will talk about it again Wednesday, but Monday, Rebecca and I will speculate. So I'm so looking forward to the collabs we have coming up between my friend Rebecca, Christina, Ryan Bailey, all the good stuff. Thank you, Gemini Joe. Yes, hashtag support women, support them. PK, Chicken Head, PK Neely. Love you, Jolene. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you. And thank you guys for starting off the super chat. Ryan and I will be live. Yep. I make him go live with me. So everyone I invite on my channel, I'm like, I'm going to be live just so you know. Because, a lot of people, they have podcasts and stuff. So they record, and some people prefer that. And I know Ryan, he does a great job of that. But he's great live too. So I kind of force people to be live because I like to interact with you guys. And I don't know, as a live performer, I'm just like, let's do it. Let's bring it. Okay. So we have a lot of things to talk about today. I do want to, yeah. Oh my God. Connie. Yes. Please sound off in the chat, you guys. Okay. Connie says, can we discuss Lala telling us how she carried Sandoval and her back hurts? She should send Bill to Bullfrog. Yeah, to Jeremiah was a Bullfrog because he paid you to carry Sandoval, the man you have hated for years. Yeah, Lala, we went over that in my last live a little bit. We played, it was from her Amazon Live. Lala was out there saying, I carried this season on my backs. Yo, Tupac, I carried this season on my backs. My backs hurts. Where's Vicky? Give me a massage. Like Lauren from Utah was like, finger guns. And it's like, no, you didn't. The lie detector determined that was a lie. Take it to Maury because you did not carry anything on your back. This is delusions. Los Angeles, leave it for a little bit, maybe even a little outside of Palm Springs, smell some real people air, and then come back down to earth because you did not carry the season. You didn't, okay? You took an assignment that came off as inauthentic, disingenuous, and not true. And it looked purely motivated on money, thinking that you and the producers were going to allegedly keep the show alive. And now you're facing the consequences of that. And instead of just owning that, you are out here telling us all we got rabies. So no. Nicole, thank you so much for the super chat. Nicole says, as a teacher who recently got laid off, looking forward to your videos, have really helped cheer me up. Well, Nicole, I know all too well about the layoff. I was laid off from my corporate job last year. So welcome to Layoff Central, but that just pushed me into full-time comedian and content creator. So I hope you are able to find another, whether it's within teaching or whatever you would like, something that's even better. Okay. Because we love our teachers. And I know people have asked me, could you teach? And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't, that's too hard. That's too hard. I have friends who are teachers, and that's a lot of responsibility. And I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think I have the patience. Yeah. So shout out to Nicole, and we will continue to have some laughs and cheer you up. Evelyn, thank you so much. Love your live, Joleen. Well, I love you, Evelyn. And you know that. Butterfly, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. Needed my fix. You got your fix. We are here. Yes. The Utah thug life, Tracy. She was like, I carried this on my back. Okay. Speaking not about Lala. Lala was not invited to the Something About Her soft open that happened yesterday. I think it was yesterday, day before. And everyone's posting about it. A lot of Bravo celebrities were there, but Lala and Sheena were noticeably absent from Something About Her, which officially opens May 22nd, so 4 days from now. And I loved this little meme created by @The Real Housewives of New York. It says, this bitter Betty is upset about Ariana getting all these deals thanks to Scandival, but she continues to wear the sweatshirt she made to benefit off of Scandival almost every episode. The hypocrisy is rich with this one. It's rich. It's rich. Life is sweet. Bakery says, hi from 2. Rabid bitch is my husband and me. Hello, rabid bitch is your husband and yourself in Belfast. Oh my gosh. Hello. First time joining in the chat. Well, thank you and welcome, Ireland. Appreciate you joining all the way from Ireland. How wonderful. Dreadful Ruby, you become a YouTube member. Thank you so much. Thank you. And Nicole Larson, thank you for the super chat. Nicole says, I love how you share the love with other podcasters like Christina and Ryan. Thank you for all of your insight and humor. Love you. You're the best. Nicole, that's so sweet of you to say. Well, I mean, I didn't really do anything. It's not hard because they're both really nice people and very talented. And most people are that are doing this content creation within the Bravo world. I mean, obviously there's probably some buttholes, but I'm not really immersed in it as much as maybe some others are. So I'm an Aquarius. If you give me bad vibes, we're done. We're like, I'm not gonna go forward with you. That is not what's gonna happen. So but thank you for saying that. Thank you for those kind words. I'm turned off like her comments. Lala, yes, just like her comments, you guys. Okay, so Andy showed up to something about her. So the sandwich shop had its soft open. Andy was there. Stassi was there. So Lala's hero, Stassi. Ugh, I wonder if that was rough for Lala to see her hero. Now, in Christina Coca's video, she shows the clip of literally days before, maybe a day before, she accuses Ariana of acting like she's Beyonce. She has Stassi Schroeder on her podcast, and she is calling Stassi Beyonce. So, ooh, interesting. But Stassi was there. Lindsay Hubbard was there. Andy Cohen was there. I think Andy, he didn't come in town just for the Something About Her soft open, but instead he came in town for some NBC Universal event. I think I saw my friend Zach Peter might have been at. Was he? Somebody was there. One of my Bravo blogger friends was at some NBC Universal thing. So I think he was in for there, but I was happy to see him support the ladies because it's hard to tell anymore who supports these ladies and their business, which is very, very frustrating. Which we've seen on the reunion, and it's just like, do you guys even want these women to succeed? I mean, come on now. All right, so let's get into Oh, wait, first, okay, we do have to talk about, and then I'm going to show you some of the clips that I found about the for the soft open of Something About Her with like Lindsay from Summer House and Andy and Stassi and Katie's cute mom, and Kristen Doty was there. And then we're going to listen to some clips from Sheena's podcast, and we're going to react to them. And then also Kristen Doty had Tom Schwartz on her podcast yesterday. And then we also have clips of Rachel Raquel's podcast yesterday. Everybody was just talking. Everybody was so blabberific. So we got to talk about them. Well, first, speaking of Lauren from Utah, you guys, allegedly, oh no, Twitter, Elon Musk, you are just ruining this app. I had it all up on what I wanted to talk about, and then it was like, just kidding. Okay, so shout out to @the_lower level on Twitter. They said, Lala talks about retreating from the comment section and mentions that there is a podcast that she plans to address. Who do we think it is? Put your suggestions or guesses in the chat. According to Lala, she said, one of these podcasts I'll address. There are things I have seen where I have had to retreat, back to the mean streets of the Utah, UTAH, where I have had to retreat because the things that I may come back at you with, I'm not going to be able to come back from. What? Stop it. What is happening? That's what my husband said. My husband says, I think it's going to be you. I go, no, I don't think I'm on her radar. And I also, I used to have this as a podcast, and I'll probably do that again. I keep saying I'm going to have this in like audio form, back on iTunes and all that stuff, but I just haven't done it because I've been having so much fun just over on YouTube, and I don't want to do the work it takes, which isn't actually that hard, I don't think, to put on podcasts. But I don't think it's me. I think it's a big podcast. And I'm little in the world, but it would be hilarious if it was me or Christina. Because listen, she'd only be doing us a favor. I mean, then people will go, well, we got to go check out what these people said. And so you'd only be drawing people to our channel. And since I think, I mean, I know it's subjective, but I think our takes are pretty logical. I don't think anyone's gonna, think that we're out of line. It's not like we go live and talk shit about, like her children or something. It's just like her actions on a TV show. So Miss Lala, who was just big and strong, she was just big and strong. And now she's like, and I can't come back from this. And so her episode came out yesterday on YouTube. They premiere it, and I was kind of listening to see if she would address this alleged podcaster she's going to come at, because I was like, I wonder who it is. And they were talking a little bit about comedy, which was interesting because they were talking about the Tom Brady roast, and it sounded like Lala was like, I would want to be a comedian. It's like, and then she said, no, maybe I want to be married to a comedian. I'm like, you don't want to do that either. I can tell she does think she's funny, which good for you. And she was kind of explaining comedic timing, which I thought was interesting. Her not being a comedian or anything would understand that, but okay, maybe she's watched some documentaries and how she wants to go see comedy. But when she explained, she did talk a little bit about when she talked about the Tom Brady roast, because Nikki Glazer, who, you know, a lot of people are just coming, being aware of Nikki Glazer, but Nikki Glazer has been a top-notch comedian and roaster for very long time, since like Greg Giraldo and the old, you know, roasts. Now they would be considered old, but on Comedy Central when she was pretty young. So people are like, this Nikki Glazer. And I'm like, yeah, Nikki is really good at this. She's super funny. So they were talking about her and how Nikki Glazer did an interview after saying that she doesn't think Tom Brady knew he got paid $25 million by Netflix to do this roast, to get roasted. But she doesn't think he knew how hard they go at like your marriage, your ex-wife, your family, mentioning your kids and stuff. So he didn't go to any of like the after parties. So they were talking about that. And Lala had the gall to say, oh, get over it. Oh my God, it's just jokes. I'm thinking. And she goes, well, I mean, then she caught herself and she said, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that because I am falling apart from people making jokes or, you know, commenting on her this season. I'm like, mm-hmm. It's so funny. People love to watch other people get roasted, but they don't want to get roasted themselves, which I think is normal. But if it does happen to you, it's best to take it with a grain of salt. And if people do have like, you know, if it's not a roast and it is just people online and they have an opinion about you and the show you're on, maybe, you know, instead of attacking them, maybe just hush, maybe take some of that as constructive criticism, work with it and see that, yeah, you are coming off in a way you don't want to come off. Or you really do just have to not give a shit, but you give all the shits. So unfortunately, yes, Miss Patty, I'm so excited. We're almost to 40,000 subscribers, which is huge. But in the world of like who Lala's probably going to address, it's not going to be little old me. I mean, it would probably look, whoever she talks about, a podcaster, she better hope they're somewhat on her level. I feel like the only person she could really talk about in this, I'm just thinking offhand, would be like Danny Pellegrino maybe, but I don't think she's going to have a problem with him. Because Watch What Crappens, I mean, they're like huge Bravo podcasts. But anyone else, it's going to look really bad for her to go after. You know, you have 2.4 or 2.2 or whatever, 4 million followers on Instagram. So you gotta kind of come with the job. It could be Nick Viall. That's actually a really good guess. And that would be similar levels of fame, I guess. But if she comes after like myself or Christina or like a Ryan Bailey, or which I don't think she's going to, then I don't think that's going to look very good for her, because why? Similar to you saying that this is your job, this is our job. So, okay. Anyways, I just thought that was fascinating. You guys, Heather McDonald, I doubt, because they're friends. And even though Heather challenges her a little bit, I don't think they've had a falling out, or maybe they did and I missed it. Maybe I missed it. Miss Diamond says, I've never seen someone get fired, become a full-time comedic content creator, and turns into God. Except Joleen, because Miss Diamond, oh my gosh, you're so sweet. And I'll see you in Arizona in August. All right. So I guess we'll just wait for Lala for whatever she's going to do or say. Let's see if we have.
Depends on who you get.
Okay, let's see.
In some small
Let's listen
way.
to the audio they have when she made this podcaster comment.
Depends on who you get. In some small way, and again, she's on a completely different level, but just what I have been experiencing, which one of these podcasts I'll address, but just very quickly, there are things I have seen where I have had to retreat, not look. And even though I don't look, I know what's out there. I'm not an idiot. And
I hate when people do this. You look, you're all very self-absorbed, and that's okay. You're reality show stars. You're in the entertainment business. You're looking, you're reading your reviews. I mean, you kind of live or die by that. So quit lying to us. We're not stupid. I think she really does. Sometimes when I hear her talk, she'll be like, I'm not, when she was talking about who found out about Ariana being on Broadway, she's like, people in freaking Iowa found out before me or at the same time as me. And I'm like, I understand that you're saying people that didn't know Ariana found out before you, like, and you think you're owed something, but the way you put it, the way she talks about people from other parts of the country, it's just like, girl, those people in Iowa are the reason you have any of the shit you have, the fans. So I don't know. So don't talk to us like we're stupid. That's the thing, is we're calling you out because we're not stupid, and we know you look at this shit. Plus you're back and forth and back and forth. Check out Christina Coca's video. You don't even know what you're saying anymore, ma'am.
What people are saying, it's like, I'm going to need to decompress because the things that I may come back at you with, I'm not going to be able to come back from.
Ooh, oh, don't scare me, mother. Like, what are you talking about? What would you say? I'm thinking like worst case scenario, you're like, what are you going to call people racial slurs? I mean, what are you talking about? What can you come back from? What are you going to threaten to murder somebody? Like, what are you even talking about? Because of people having opinions about the show? This is like, it's embarrassing. Thank you, Bauer of Power, for the super chat. Says, how embarrassing for Laurel. Aligning herself with Rachel and Kaylee, army of skanks much. I mean, this is really Laurel. I like how you call her Laurel. Lauren, no, please stop.
And I probably won't even mean the shit that I'm going to say to you, but because I'm so hurt by the things you're saying about me, because we are still human.
Girl, I'll block the people then. People come to my channel, say stuff to me. I know it's not on the level of you, but come on, bro. You're making me bro. You're making me bro at this point. Are you serious? How can you be hurt by these strangers? You've been on the show for how long? You also said you didn't care. And you doubled down and you came back and said, these rabies bitches.
I need to retreat because you're now dealing with a mama bear and I'll claw your fucking eyes out. All right. And devour your whole.
I think she's going to kill somebody. Girl, we might need a wellness check on this one because I'm going to claw your eye. For what? Are people talking about little adorable baby Ocean? No. Everybody loves baby Ocean. What are you talking about? It's so cryptic, and this is what she does, though. She did the same thing to Katie. You're talking about my custody, bitch, my custody. And he's like, I don't think I ever talked about your custody. Yeah, you did, bitch. You told me to stop paying lawyers and instead pay for therapy, and I'm a clown. And it's like, oh, that doesn't have anything to do with your custody. That's just like maybe put some of the money for whatever you use lawyers for toward therapy. That's just like nice advice. And you are acting like a clown. He's like, bitch, but this is what she does. She kind of manipulates it. And she weaponizes it. Like, they're coming after my motherhood. What? No.
Mama bear. And I'll claw your fucking eyes out. All right. And devour your whole family. And there's just no coming back from that. So she let some dust settle. And then she went about it in a very, I'm going to make it so you lose your job kind of way.
Comedic too. Hilarious.
No.
Hilarious.
She's like, it's going to cost me $2. I'm going to do it.
So she's comparing it to something without the full context of watching this episode, which is the most recent one, which I guess I didn't watch long enough to get to this part. Someone must have helped someone lose their job because are you advocating for people who speak against you to lose their jobs, Lala? This is interesting.
Why not? I'm
Like
on her side.
you sometimes hit a breaking point.
Yeah.
The chicks, when they went against George Bush,
Mhm.
and people
Lost
went
their mind.
insane. They were throwing their CDs in the streets, running over them with their cars. Not the chicks, with the CDs. And it affected them so much. And then they were somewhat proven right after 9/11. People started kind of looking at Georgie a little bit differently. Some people, I don't know. I was young. I have no idea. So don't come for me.
Okay, maybe then don't speak on shit you don't know about. Because you definitely don't understand what the chicks were saying. And she's referencing the amazing chick song, Not Ready to Make Nice. I'm not ready to back down. I'm still mad as hell and I don't have time to go round and round and round. It's too late to make it right. I probably wouldn't if I could. Because I'm mad as hell, can't bring myself to do what it is you think I should. Forgive. Sounds good. Lala's like, forget. I'm not sure I could. They say, time heals everything. And I'm still waiting. Like, Lala, you sound cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. The Dixie Chicks were actually standing up during a time, 9/11, and there were so many artists that were like, there was like this kind of Muslim phobia. Anyone they deemed, there was kind of with brown skin, might be Arab, might be Muslim. Like people were just like, and George Bush kind of perpetuating this and taking them into a war they didn't think they should be in. There's like so many nuances and so many things about this where you're comparing your situation on a reality show where you're just performing really shitty and acting weird to them sticking up standing up for what they believe for against political leaders, against the president of the. Okay. Ma'am, do they have can someone look online, see if they have reality check classes where you can go maybe online from the comfort of your own home between selling meal prep things, between your meal prep ads? Maybe you could take one of those to get you back down to the level, back down to earth where the humans live. Okay.
I'm just saying. They then came out with this. They came out with a song called "I'm Not Ready to Make Nice."
Mm-hmm.
And when you've been through some shit and you build up resentment, even though it's the outside world, we are still people. And I don't even know that level of fame or notoriety, but I imagine sometimes it is hard to come back from, where you look at people just a little bit different, you know?
Yeah.
So there's that. The Office spinoff is.
Okay, yeah. Okay, she's gonna ruin two things in that. She's gonna ruin the Dixie Chicks and their intent for their song, and also The Office. Right? It does sound very grandiose, like Sandoval. Like they really think they're more important than they are. And again, the worst thing you can do is believe your own hype. If you got a little bit of hype behind you, which Lala did after season 10, if you believe that and you buy into that shit, you will turn into a monster that no one recognizes, or maybe just your true colors will come out. But I kind of think, yeah, she must have Riley is her PR. Heather says her and Tom must have the same PR team. It's 23-year-old Riley from TikTok. And she's like, I don't know, these old people are just like fighting. I'm not sure. She's like 30 something and he's like, I don't know, 68. I'm not sure. But yeah, they're like on some channel, Bravo. It's not on TikTok. That's all I know. So maybe it's Riley. I'm not sure. It's like, girl, please stop. Please stop, Lala. Okay, let's check out this little video that I put together here. You guys, let me share it one more time and just give me a thumbs up when you hear the sound so I know that you guys are able to hear the video, and we are going to play.
I have one question for you. Do you know what it is? Ask it. Do it. How many sandwiches have you made for me? 2. 2 so far. It was amazing. Many more to come.
So Lindsay Hubbard there going with her now infamous line, how many sandwiches have you made for me? And Ariana says 2. I made 2 sandwiches. Now this is from Kristen Doute's social media, and she was there and she's got the little sign, and obviously they took the patio out. Everyone's been checking out this menu. Everything seems, it's really cute. Nancy Meyer's set decorator, I believe, decorated the inside. They kind of wanted it to look like a Nancy Meyer's movie, and with those vibes, cute little menu, cute little sandwiches with their logos all over it. Kristen obviously here showing them some love. So Kristen's there, Sheena's not there, Lala's not there. So it's interesting, two of the women that you're on a show with, like, that's how bad Sheena and Lala. You could have been there. You could have been supporting your girl, but instead you chose to be a weird hater. Now, is that girl taking a sip of water? Is that the girl with no job? Is that she's like a podcaster and stuff? It looks like her, but I wasn't. Maybe you'll see some familiar faces. They do have cameras up, so they could be filming something personally. I hope there's some kind of something about her spinoff I would love to see, of Katie and Ariana just taking over despite the like surviving the Toms. Maybe they could do something about surviving the Toms, but or even take the Toms name out of it, but just these two women they're on. So I'm sure there's other people there, but I don't know who that is. I kept kind of pausing it to see who was there, including Ariana. And then maybe some real customers, which is cool. We see some of the staff. I don't see Anne, though. Maybe she was doing a Duracell commercial. And there's Ariana and Katie. I mean, the inside, I think, looks so cute. Obviously, I told you guys I stalked it like last year and looked inside when they still had the patio out front. And it was really, really cute. Really small, quaint, intimate. And more people. Eating Sammy's. And there is Mr. Andy Cohen and Stassi Schroeder checking out something about her.
This is great.
Andy's like, I just got super high and showed up. This is great. I drove over here in my rental listening to the Grateful Dead. This is I had to play it twice because I like hearing him say, this is great.
This is great.
And there's Stassi. There's no sound to this part. But Lindsay, Stassi, there's Bo explaining sandwiches to Lindsay. And she's like, oh, okay, so that's bread. He's like, yeah. Oh, hi. Okay, bye. So they have that little Terry, Katie's cute mom, with Stassi, Katie, Andy, Ariana. So nice to see them supporting the ladies. Hopefully, Andy. Jesus. Oh, okay. And then we got Lindsay. And I know I should know who that guy is on the left, but I don't. So sorry, guy on the left. But they even have boxed water. So LA. Love it. Terry. Bo's in the back. But Terry, Katie's cute mom. And then Lindsay with the girls. And them looking, so good, fresh, and just business owners doing the damn thing. I really kept on this one for a while. Okay, so this guy you'll recognize. I forgot who the other girl is, and I think I'm supposed to know the other girl too. But the guy there is Jared Lips, I think his name is, and he's on this season of The Valley, like a friend who shows up, but he's a good friend of Ariana, and he spoke out after Scandival. He had a, they were like fundraising for him for cancer. He was, I believe he's in remission now. Apologies if I'm misspeaking, but he's friends with a lot of the cast. He's a makeup artist, and he's good friends with Janet from The Valley too. So he did a little video about Sandoval right after Scandival and how unsupportive he was to him. And I was like, yes, sir. Speak. So, but that lady looks familiar. That cute lady, isn't it? Obviously, Danny Pellegrino and Katie Maloney.
It was because it's feeling like.
Okay, so now we are going into Sheena's podcast that everybody's talking about. I just have a little clip here of her and Janet, and I forgot the other guy's name. Apologies. But I do like this guy's take. This guy's going to kind of give it to Schwartz here, and we're going to hear more from Sheena. So let's listen and let me know what you guys think in the live chat.
if like you are going to lose cast members from Vanderpumprules, like I'm not sure what's happening at the Valley, but like if it was tenable to do a show all together, I guess it's 2 hit shows compared to one. So
but yeah, I would love to, hang out with people in the Valley more because these are my real friends. So yes, that would be so
and
fun.
even that sentence is like crazy. You know what I mean? Like those are your real friends over there. And so you're on a show with not your real friends.
I mean, no, they're my friends on this show as well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be on the Valley if it wasn't for Sheena and our friendship.
Okay. So I think we talked about this briefly before, but Sheena's saying, I mean, the Valley, those are my real friends. And I'm like, we need a chart at this point. We need some kind of like diagram of who's Sheena's boss friends, her fake friends, her party friends, her Valley friends, her real friends. We need a friends chart at this point. And I think Vanderpump, I know people don't think this, but I do think it's going to come back. I do think that they're taking this break because, they just went right into it after Scandival. But I don't think it's over. I got a feeling.
And introducing me to the group of people that ended up then being.
Also, Janet has been one of Sheena's best friends for a very long time, to the point where I was watching old after shows of Vanderpump. And I think Dana, shout out to Dana, who's was on one season. I think it was when they brought people in season 8. And now she has her podcast with Katie, and she's good friends with Ariana too. Dana, I think, wanted to have a threesome with Janet, and they were talking about Janet, and there was lots of conversation about Janet. And she's been seen through the years. She's been on the peripheral of Vanderpump Rules for a while.
Being my neighbors.
Totally.
So it all really is like incestuous.
It's just like different groups of friends. Vanderpump, I feel like, are more, other than Lala, like the party friends, the people you go to the bars with, you go to the DJ shows and stuff, whereas the Valley are my parent friends, people I do play dates with and birthday parties. And it is just...
I was getting distracted. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, there's a Joybird ad. Let me look at it. Oh, I love their furniture. And then a song started. So Sheena's like, these are my party friends. Okay, no offense, all offense, but Sheena and Brock seem to party more than some of her party friends, because I see Sheena and Brock partying more than I see like Ariana partying. So the fact that Ariana and Lala doesn't really party. She went to like a lot of festivals this year, but okay.
It's 2 real groups of friends, but very different once you have a kid.
Yeah, right. 100%. Like it brings out a different camaraderie almost. I have to say, like, just this is not what happened in the finale. A little bit though, like the Joe of it all, it breaks my fucking heart. Because that girl really thought that was going a different way.
Yeah.
And
okay, I had to add a little bit of graphics to this one. So now he's going to give his opinion on Joe. So let's go.
Just this is not what happened in the finale. A little bit though, like the Joe of it all, it breaks my fucking heart. Because that girl really thought that was going a different way.
Yeah.
And he with the Joseph, I'm just like, this is so lame and limp dick and weird. Like this is just so, to put this girl through this on television and then not be able to speak to it at all. Tom Schwartz gets away with so much like, I'm a guy stuff that it bothers me to my core. Like y'all could never get away with doing.
No, I get that. I would like to say everything that I know about Joe, but out of
respect,
I will not. But there's several reasons why he was trying to slowly
cool it down.
Yeah.
I get it. I just feel like, why bring her into the fold if it was going to go if you didn't like this girl in that way, or like if you were just hooking up with her. And because I don't know if I believe that he said verbatim, like, I'm in love with you, I want to be with you.
I don't think he ever said that.
So you think?
I think that was her interpretation of him being like, love you, dude.
Yeah.
When she said, I want to call my dad at the end of that episode when he was like breaking up with her, I was like, see, this is the part where I'm like, this girl really shouldn't be on reality television.
No, she absolutely should not be.
Torn with her because I also, I feel for her and I agree with everything you just said, but also I can't erase from my memory that she did know about the affair. And I was with her at Thanksgiving at Tom and Ariana's house, and she knew what was going on then. Raquel, Tom, and Ariana are all there, welcoming this woman into their home, feeding her a Thanksgiving feast, all that. And I look at it, I'm like, I want to feel bad for you, but that's too much.
She was so blindly in love with Tom Schwartz. And I think that he was getting off on it. And I think it sucks because not everyone is like Rachel, where she's gonna do this like stage like kiss with you at your wedding to like do the show. It's like, this girl was really in love with you, dude.
Yeah.
And that's a mess.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think maybe that's another reason why the pause is good, is because I think like perception of what's okay to put people through just amongst the cast is getting a little warped.
Yeah. I think we all just need a bit of a breather.
Yeah.
You know, let's eat some sandwiches, go back to Broadway, work on some other projects, and
I
then come
love
back
your
together.
storyline. I love
So Sheena's basically like, I just need Ariana to come back because clearly she's the star of the show. So I'll go back to Broadway, eat some sandwiches, and be my best friend again.
Lala story. All the individual storylines I thought were great.
You're just meshing them all together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
meshing them all together is tough.
Yeah. And I think we need some time to figure out how to do that,
Mhm.
you know? So yeah, I think overall it'll be a good thing. And it was the most difficult season we've ever had to film because it was the first time ever where I felt like, oh my God, if I have a conversation with this person, then I'm going to lose this person, then the whole audience is going to hate me. And I'm like, oh my God, it was just
It's a
like
lot
constantly.
of playing politics in your head
Yeah.
and like trying to gauge reaction. I guess like it can never be as simple as this, but like it.
What I don't understand is if Ariana was willing to and brave enough to set her boundaries and standards with the show and read her contract, why couldn't the other people as well? Are they going to argue, well, she had other opportunities if the show would get canceled? And Sheena will go on to say, I don't have it on here because I can't listen to like a whole episode, right now. But, she'll say that Ariana's fine with the show getting canceled. And that's hurtful to me because I'm a mother and I'm trying to feed my kids. So she took kind of from the Lala playbook, like she's taking food out of my children's mouth. And it's like, what? No, it's just her not doing the show. If everything is hanging on to Ariana, and if it's all going to crumble if she leaves, then you guys obviously didn't do your job very well. But if Ariana can have boundaries and standards and all these things, like why couldn't the other people? Like why couldn't they advocate for a storyline that made sense after being on the show for as long as they did? Why were they so easy to sell off their integrity and the integrity of the show, if you ever thought there was any? But do you know what I mean? If Ariana could do these things, surely you could too. You could attempt to save this show you allegedly love so much. Because if you're just willing to just do and say anything, nobody wants to watch that. That's not what we signed up for when we started watching Vanderpump, in my opinion.
It should just be like an actual real group of friends that like we watch dynamics go by and it's not that deep. But unfortunately, something happened that was so fucking deep and the entire world had an opinion on it. So it's like, ugh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like nothing could have fractured this group more. And I don't know how we come back from that, but I know that individually, all of our stories aren't done being told.
No.
So
I think the answer is with time.
Yeah, with some time. And
it's like I said, everyone's individual story I liked.
Mm-hmm.
I even thought like the goofy stuff with like.
What were all their individual stories though? Because Lala's story was she doesn't trust men. Okay. Send it to Daryl. Was that a storyline? Expose Ariana for something she wasn't, which according to her, she kept telling us, oh, you're going to see and you're going to agree with me. And every episode we were like, most of us were firmly like, no. we don't know what you're talking about, lady. Sheena did have some stuff. She definitely has stuff with Brock, her relationship there, not good. Dealing with postpartum OCD. So, yep. Okay. Sandoval, it was just, he should be, going around trying to make things right, giving people space, showing true contrition. He couldn't do any of that. So it was like Captain Save-A-Ho. And then Schwartz, he just brought on Joe, clearly someone who should most likely not be on reality TV, according to them even, and strung her along and then pretended to date Sheena's pink-haired friend who's a singer and with Katie. So they just like put on and pretended. It sounds like you didn't go in with very good storylines or willing to truly share and be honest as much as you could, because Lala's in a situation where she can't share Ocean, or really, I don't think she can't share her daughter on the show because Randall put a kibosh on that. And I know that Randall did that probably to hurt Lala, but it's probably the best thing he's ever done for his daughter, in my opinion, even though he probably didn't do it for those reasons, for like, just did it to piss her off and make it so Lala couldn't make any money, maybe. I don't know, just to piss her off. But I mean, in the long run, I don't know. I wouldn't do that. I'm not a mother, but I wouldn't subject my kids to Hollywood or any of the reality TV stuff, especially at that young of an age. So now Lala is, now she'll have, and she keeps telling us, this new child. So I guess part of her storyline was this sperm donor. Okay, the sperm donor storyline. All right. Well, that didn't really hit. The water party didn't really hit. Like, we get it. It's cool. But she kept telling us, I'm doing this so I'll have something that's mine. I won't have to share, because she's dealing with this custody battle. But it was really messy. And I don't know. It just seems like if you're relying on a storyline with your kids, that's not really a Vanderpump Rules. I mean, we realize they're getting older and they're going to have kids and stuff, but that's not really a storyline. Yeah. I mean, I know, they're moms. That's a big deal, but there has to be more, I think, you bring to the table, or that could be why, they want to head over to the Valley and join the mom squad, which I don't think either of them should head over to the Valley, because I think they're going to ruin the dynamic that's already there. Especially Lala. If Sheena goes over there, it's like, I feel like we're going to have to accept one of them. I would probably prefer Sheena because she's actually friends with Janet and them. But if Sheena and Lala go, the two of them together, it's toxic, and it's going to ruin what's good about the Valley. Let me read some of you guys' comments. Anna says, you think if she's a big Housewives fan, as she claims, she'd know we all hate pregnancy seasons. I mean, it is the worst season. Mazel and congratulations. And we want all the babies to be born and healthy and beautiful and all the good stuff. But it's not really the storyline we look for. Teddy Mellencamp. Oh, remember how annoying she was? Oh my God. I'm fine, you guys. I'm fine. And we're like, oh, please, dear. Just please stop. This isn't the Housewives. Like, I used to love to watch A Baby Story on TLC and watch the birth, like, because I knew I was going to watch that. But then if you just throw it in, you're like, that sounded a little weird. Yeah, babies are not storylines. They're babies. They're humans. They're human babies. And I've seen too much. I think a lot of us have now, where I don't really want to see children exploited on these shows. I really don't. You can talk about being a mom, but I don't need to see your kids. I think it's already such a dangerous environment. We've seen this happen, obviously, with all the recent docuseries and people coming forward. Obviously, the Nickelodeon, so horrible. And then don't even get me started on Diddy, but I do have to do a video about that. And then I mean, even like Little People, Big World, one of the kids, the youngest brother, I believe, he had a producer or someone on set who had been inappropriately, maybe even molesting him. So I just don't need to see, am I crazy for saying this? I don't need to see children on television. First of all, they're not making any money. They can't truly consent to it. What they're showing their whole life. And I feel like maybe when they get older, they're going to be upset. Like, I couldn't consent to my whole life is just on camera. And now maybe they don't want to be on camera. Like, how do you know that your child wants to be on a reality show? It just seems like a horrible idea. And as young as they are, and then how they have like separate Instagram accounts for them, I just think that's gross. Yeah, those babies are not consenting. Okay, so some of you agree, and I feel less, because I was talking to my husband about this. I'm like, I just would never do that. I don't want to see kids on these shows at all. We know too much now. It's 2024, like Cat Williams says, like, we know too much. Leave the kids alone. We get it. You're a mom. Awesome. Talk about it. Sure, we'll hear about it. Love it. But don't put them on camera. Don't exploit them. Yes, let's not exploit, Cammie says. Thank you, Wanda Lee, for the super chat. Wanda says, coins for producer Tilly's and Teddy's kittyversity and doggyversity funds. You're so sweet. And you can hear little Buffy. She's snoring away. She is snoozing over here. I got Teddy snoozing here. Buffy snoozing here. Tilly's, she's going to be scratching at the door probably any minute. Yes, if you haven't already, hit that like. Thank you, DGF. Appreciate that. We got 215 likes. Let's set a goal. I love a goal. 350. Can we hit it? We got 741 watching live. Thank you for watching. Let's keep listening.
With like Schwartz and Katie both dating. Is it Tori?
Tori, yeah.
Like, I thought that was so great. And by the way, Katie was hot.
Yeah.
Like there was something about it where I was watching it and I was getting a little shy. I'm like, if Katie Maloney made a move on me, I think I'd be a goner. Like, it was really, but that's the kind of stuff I think is like fun and great and like whatever.
Yeah.
Even if I know in my heart that like that would never happen in life. Like, they're not going for the same girl.
No.
It was still like fun to watch and felt like Vanderpump.
It was.
But then, yeah,
that was not fun to watch. The Tori fake storyline was not fun to watch. They could do so much better with Katie to give her that. No, that was horrible. And it was horribly contrived and nobody liked it. I don't think, and we saw her for like 2 seconds. It brought nothing. It just was too fake. I did not like that. No. Lucy Lou, thank you. Lucy says, I watch these shows to escape a long day from dealing with kids, not trying to see anyone else's kids. I mean, seriously, you got a lot of moms watching the show and they're probably like, it's escape television. You know, they got kids. People, we know what kids look like. They're adorable. They're great. Tracy, thank you. I always pre-like Jolene. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for the pre-like.
It would like the beach was tough. Like,
yeah. I will say my favorite part of the finale was the stuff I had with the band.
That was great.
Loved being able to perform.
Of course, when I asked the fans in the Instagram followers.
Okay, so that ends the Sheena portion of this. And I love to perform and my boss friends. Okay, so now we're going to Kristen Doty with Luke on their podcast. They changed the name recently. It's like Reality Balancing Act or something. It used to be something about love, sex, and it was not a good name. So I'm glad she changed the name because it was like, what? So they had Schwartz on yesterday, and this is him talking about the Joe situation.
Or what they wanted to ask you about. It was an overwhelmingly
Joe heavy
situation. So for me, I don't want to give this too much attention. Obviously, we see that she will be on the reunion next week. Things have changed since you filmed the reunion. And I don't want to give this too much attention because I feel like this clip as we're speaking is going to end up on an Instagram live very shortly. But I just want to say that as of her last Instagram live or whenever that was, you let me read your text to her in its entirety. And my frustration lies in that she was cherry picking bits and pieces and not reading the context behind these things, leaving out things that you said that were very kind, as well as leaving out things that you had to call her out on that frustrated you. And we're not going to say what those things are because that's between the two of you. And we're not going to pull out Joe by talking more about that. But I just want people to know that because everyone's like, well, what happened? What's the main thing? And why did it turn this way so quickly? So I think, is that fair to say that you explained yourself in a very lengthy text message and said everything you had to say? And it was you that sent the text.
Yeah, it was firm, but constructive. And I felt like a major violation when she went and read that. And she cherry picked it to fit her narrative online.
Yes.
And like, I get it. She's going through some feelings. Like she's hurt a little bit, but it's like, I know I'm very familiar with the feeling of being rejected, but it's like the reasons I pulled away from Joe are very valid. And she has to respect those. Like I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to do that to her, but like she's told some egregious lies that I found out and I've debunked and I've called her out on a few of them, but some of them are just so uncomfortable to bring up that I never addressed it. I knew at a certain point that I had to pull away from her and, hopefully she can respect that. It does feel like a violation when she goes on there and it's like, she's kind of spinning this narrative. Like she's a victim. I played her and it's like, poor Joe. I'm like, it's just, I don't know, man. I get it that her feelings are hurt, but like, if I was to talk about the reasons why I separated from her, which are very valid, I think everybody would be singing a different tune online. They're like, okay, my God, I'm sorry I judged you, Schwartz. But like,
and I will say some of those reasons are reasons why I would not develop.
Just so Schwartz knows, no, even if the reasons are valid, I'm never going to say, sorry, I judged you, Schwartz. I think I should have judged you sooner. I think I should have judged you more harshly. So he's saying egregious lies. He caught her in lies. He found out. He did his research. What are they? What is happening here? And if this person is so dangerous, according to you, is this just you trying to paint a picture and villainize another woman like the Toms do so well? Like you've continued to do to Katie. So hashtag Katie was right because she said Joe was spooky from the jump. And you were like, that's so mean, Katie. And Katie was like, she's got weird energy. It's strange. So are you trying to paint her as a villain? Or if she really is, something's going on. Don't you think you should be reaching out to production? Don't you think you should be warning the public? Don't you like that? It just seems really strange that they're all like, yeah, we know some stuff. We can't talk about it. What lies was she telling? However, I will say I did call this, I think a lot of us here did, with the Dirty Joe situation, like a Dirty John situation. I feel like there's so much more. This is a very smart woman, this Kaylee Jo Wenberg. And the more we kind of find out about her, I think there's a lot that I think she's better at this than she lets on. But there's also some clear issues going on, whether it be substance, mental health, something's happening here. But to just I hate when people do that. It's either say it, don't spray it. Like say it or don't say it at all. So you're trying to save your own ass right now because people are tending to sympathize with Joe more than Schwartz. And I think even if they knew Joe was lying, they'd still be like, but you still treat women like this, Schwartz, but you're still pretty toxic. You still got your issues. You still lead people on. So I think he wants there to be like the good guy and the bad guy, but what if they're both bad guys and two bad guys got together and now you're kind of reaping the consequences. So, and you keep putting these little, clues out there like, it was bad. It was really bad. And we're like, well, what could she have lied about, you guys? Like, was it like a Brooks situation? Did she say she had cancer and she didn't? Because if that's the case, we've seen this before. Like, I'm trying to think of what could be so egregious that we haven't already seen on Bravo. I mean, these Bravo people, these housewives have taken us on a journey, We had to see Brooks rotten mouth and then Vicky go, he did have cancer and then he don't have cancer, And, Megan King Edmonds she had to really put her Nancy Drew skills to get that. But we've seen a lot of weird lies on Bravo. We've seen criminals. We've seen people go to jail. What could be so egregious? What could be so crazy that you can't say it? You can't even say it. Jennifer, thank you so much for becoming a member of YouTube. Thank you for becoming a member over here on the Lean Team. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Pamela, thank you for the super chat. Pamela B says, I saw a side-by-side pic. I saw this pic, Pamela, of Luke and Vincent Van Gogh, and now I can't unsee it. There's a very strong resemblance, very strong. So he might be the reincarnation of Vincent Van Gogh, while Lala is, according to her, the reincarnation of Tupac. Maybe he had to get a restraining order. I feel like maybe, well, if he did, and she's talking about him on a public platform, because she hasn't answered yet, and she was doing quite a few interesting Instagram lives that we highlighted over here and went through. But this aired yesterday and I haven't heard a peep from Joe. She's still posting her stories, and she did, you guys, do a sponsored shout out to the Vanderholics Reddit. They found a sponsored post she did, and it's a picture of her and Schwartz, and it was showing up as a sponsored post on Instagram, which I think means she was trying to, it wasn't like she had a sponsorship that she was working with someone. It was like, come follow Joe, to promote her own Instagram, because she's selling those breakup sweatsuits, even though they broke up a long time ago, if they were ever even together. It was a situationship, according to most. And then she's selling her hats, her Joe My Gosh hats, and then she's also selling cameos. So, okay, Kara, you saw that? Yeah. Oh my gosh. It is crazy. Jill Christine, thank you for the super sticker. Oh my God, Denise, not the bleach blonde, bad built butch body bitch. Go to Texas. I saw that today, our Congress, and that read that she gave to Marjorie Green or whatever her name is. That was so good that I felt attacked. I was like, I'm kind of a bleach blonde, bad built butch body lady. I'm like, is this real life? Is this our politics right now? And if you don't know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, made a statement against a congresswoman, Jasmine Crockett, and said that was commenting on her big fake eyelashes, just all these inappropriate things. And then Jasmine was asking if what did she say exactly? She was asking whoever it was. I don't know if they were in a committee at the time, if it was like a committee hearing, but Jasmine, after she insulted Jasmine's appearance, then she was like, so let me just figure out what can we talk about here? Like if I were to say you're a bleach blonde, bad body built, is that inappropriate? Can we erase that from the record? You have to apologize for that. And I was like, oh, that was so good. I felt attacked. I was like, that one hit me too. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor. I'm like, lady, it was like, what does Marjorie Taylor Greene think this is, like Bad Girls Club? Like, why is she? Someone said she thinks this is baddies, and Natalie Nunn's going to show up. But yeah, MTG, it was cruising for a bruise, and that's maybe who Lala needs to go after. But knowing Lala, she would probably be taking up for her or something. Jasmine said she looked like a first. I'm telling you, I was like looking down, like that's kind of hashtag me too. But it was crazy. So this Joe thing is just, and I mean, she wants to go back on the show. She's talking about the show a lot. Will she reply to this? We'll see. And if she does, I mean, we'll be here and we'll take a look at it. But the fact that they continue to put out this narrative about her that we can't even. Sheena has said it now. Kristen has said it. Schwartz has said it. Where they're like, I wish we could tell you what she's done, but it's so horrible. It's like, what did she sit on puppies? Like, what happened? What did she do? Because we've seen the worst of the worst.
Like she's a victim. I played her, and it's like, poor Joe. I'm like, it's just, I don't know, man. I get it that her feelings are hurt, but like, if I was to talk about the reasons why I separated from her, which are very valid, I think everybody would be singing a different tune online. They're like, okay, my God, I'm sorry I judged you, Schwartz. But like,
and I will say some of those reasons are reasons why I would not redevelop my friendship with her. Like, meaning I've been through some of the things, the lies that you've been through as well. So I just wanted to make that crystal clear for people that I think you handled it so incredibly well. You placed a very intelligent and healthy boundary for yourself, for your relationship, for your mental health, for your sanity, really. So you can have a really healthy.
I mean, did she grab like one of the kids and like say, I'll babysit? And then she was out there and started an Instagram account for it and was like telling everyone, this is my baby. I mean, what did she do? What did she do? Just say it already.
Productive, awesome summer. You don't have to film. You don't need all this extra dramas in your life. You're just trying to like move on to bigger, better, more positive ways of living, you know?
Yeah, I'm drama fatigued. And it's like, honestly, maybe it wouldn't have escalated to that, but like while the show was airing, people were continually sending me clips and memes. Oh my God, you see what this was saying? She's making you look bad. People are rallying against you, you know, Team Joe. And I'm just like, I ignored it for so long. And I think I just hit my breaking point that day. Yeah. And there's some other things that happened with my family that I found out that I was very unhappy about. And anyways, so yeah, I cut her off. I blocked her. I don't harbor any resentment. I'm not like harboring ill. I don't want, and I'm not sending bad vibes out there or whatever.
Totally. It's just a boundary.
I wish her well, but yeah, she's not in my life in any capacity anymore. It never will be.
Last question about
Joe's not gonna like that because Joe's like, well, I just think it's not a good time for us to be together right now, but we'll be together in the future. He said she's not in my life in any capacity. She has been saying like, okay, yeah, we don't talk right now, but like we're still good, sort of. Well, she's been all over the place with it, and he said, and never will be. And I do think Care Bear and Irrelevant Photons, maybe it was something like that. But I mean, that's messed up, but it wouldn't be the most messed up thing we've seen on reality TV or the most messed up lie we've seen. I agree with you, Teresa G, 100%. Joe is 36. She's not a victim. She's not. She's a volunteer. I agree with that, but I also think we're just seeing a highlight of how Schwartz treats women and how he kind of villainizes them. And Schwartz, I feel like you knew how this woman was and you knew you wanted to bring her on to like, piss off Katie. You and Joe were going around behind people's backs and you were part of the scandal and going on trips with Rachel Raquel and Tom. So you're both just as dirty. And I feel like if anything, Schwartz probably just got a taste of his own medicine. Maybe he finally met a woman that was going to give him something back. Katie has been very gracious with him. The only thing she said, talk about how your dick don't work. Like, who cares? And even these rage texts that he talks about, when they actually show us, they're not that bad. And even Katie was talking about that. They had like a People magazine thing they did about Vanderpump Rules where the cast was commenting on some of like the greatest moments on Vanderpump Rules. And Katie was saying what some of the rage texts said. And I'm like, so it does now, knowing how the Toms act, it doesn't seem that bad. So could be karma. Could be karma. I don't think he says anything else.
On this topic, have you seen Baby Reindeer?
Oh. Luke was like, have you seen Baby Reindeer? Luke, you are... Luke's asking to be on that episode of Snapped. If you don't be careful, Luke, no offense, all offense, but you just call Joe Baby Reindeer? I mean, it's one thing for us to do that, but I mean, Luke might not be wrong. But Schwartz isn't a victim either. He knows what he's doing.
No, I have not seen Baby Reindeer.
Are you familiar with what it is?
You know what it is. Schwartz is going to play dumb. He knows what it is, but he's terrified to say something. I think he's or at least he's acting as though he's a little scared of little Joseph.
Vaguely.
Okay.
You need to
Well,
watch
should
it,
just
though.
watch it. That's all I'll say. You should. It's worth
Yeah,
it.
I
Worth
don't
watching.
know. But
It's
anyways,
pretty wild.
He's like, I don't know. I just want to focus on the positive, not the reality of it. The positive. It's like, yeah, Luke was like, Baby Reindeer, have you seen it? Hi, Terry, and hello, Australia. Near. Have you seen Brock? Does Brock go down there? Yes. Okay. After watching Baby Reindeer, I kind of felt more for Joe. Well, I think that is the beauty of Richard Gadd and the story he tells is that you do really, if you guys haven't seen Baby Reindeer, it's like become like this amazing television show, and everybody's kind of talking about it. And there's a lot of triggering topics it deals with, and stalking and grooming and sexual assault and all these things. But he wrote it in a way where you can tell that there are two. I mean, he writes very openly about and self-aware about his own kind of faults, or not faults, but his own responsibility in this situation. And there's one gentleman. So there's the Baby Reindeer lady who is like stalking him. And then there is this Darian guy who's like a television head writer of a show. And Richard Gadd is a stand-up comedian in real life. And he wrote this based off things that really happened to him. So it's based on his true stories. And he met Darian while he was doing the Edinburgh, the Fringe Festival there, which is like a huge deal for performers. If you bring your show there, a lot of times it can be picked up. There's a lot of industry there. And to have like a one-person show is a really big deal, especially for a lot of stand-up comedians. And this ended up turning into a show. And he met this Darian guy there. And this Darian guy was a monster, like groomed him, assaulted him, just the worst of the worst, the Harvey Weinstein, basically. But this woman, when he writes about her, it's in much more of a empathetic way, because she most likely was probably suffers from like a narcissistic personality disorder, one of the personality disorders, and had a stalking history, and then started stalking him. And it's just a whirlwind, the story that he tells, and how it turns his life upside down, and the things he has to realize about himself, and the effects that these events have had. But the way he talks about her is very empathetic, to where there are parts where my husband Chell and I watch it, and he was like, I feel bad for her. And there were moments where I was like, I don't. And then I was like, I do. So yeah, the most disgusting monster is definitely the Darian character, the TV executive, the Harvey Weinstein. But the woman, as much as she's, it's more empathetic to hers, is Darian is more, he's like a sociopath. He's like looking for power and just evil, where this woman most likely is just severely mentally ill and continues to get more and more. And so he writes, it's really beautiful. Like, and the fact that he could play himself going through that. If you haven't watched Baby Reindeer, there are very triggering scenes. I think episode 3 or 4 is the sexual assault and grooming episode. I had to take a break after watching that episode, but it's a very, I think, important show. And it's been like encouraging a lot of important discussions that we need to have around these topics and stalking. And so it's pretty great. But I could see Joe kind of in the capacity that the woman who was stalking him was. Natashki says stalkers like that are addicted to the control. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I think it probably too, it might depend on like situations too. And like with this woman, maybe that can, go back to, I mean, everything tracks back to like your childhood and early childhood trauma and things like that. And her wanting, control, or to believe this version of herself, this delusional, most likely with narcissistic personality disorder. Maybe she was, just having someone she could just talk about herself to, which is what Richard Gadd gave her as he worked at a bar, and that's how they met. And as bartender, I've been a bartender before, and you gotta listen to people. And sometimes I'm like, I had some Sunday regulars when I was younger that would come in, and I'm like, oh God, these guys, and they were just annoying. You have to be like, so great, thank you. Erica says Schwartz has talked about being a father a few times, so IDK if he speaks cryptic at times. Maybe she threatened the dogs or lied about a pregnancy. Yazzie, that's what some other people are saying. Watch it, Baby Reindeer. I'll do a separate live about it because they found, or they think they have found, the woman who is the real life. I forget her name now. The real life stalker. Why am I forgetting her name? Mard? No. Someone will put it in the chat and I'll see it here. But and she did an interview on Piers Morgan. Oh my goodness. And it was wow. And I do not like Piers Morgan. So if I'm gonna watch his show, I was like, I wanted to hear what was going on. Martha, thank you, Rainbow. Yeah, Martha. Oh my goodness, Martha. And the actress that plays Martha. And as much as Richard Gadd was like, hey, we don't want to, we're protecting the identity of the real characters, the real people from this story. The actors that they booked to play Martha and Darian, the two people who are, Martha stalking, harassing him, and Darian grooming, essaying him, they look just like the real alleged people. Now, they thought they found the Darian, but Richard Gadd came out and said it wasn't this guy, not in so many words. So, her name Fiona. So she's from Scotland. She's Scottish, and she's just like, she was all over the place on Piers Morgan. But unfortunately, it seems like she really didn't get the help she needs. So such an interesting, Richard Gadd, the comedian, he played himself in his story. So, okay. So code names. Her code name was Martha. Her real name was Fiona, but the actress that plays her, I mean, they look kind of similar, but the actress is just amazing. So, I mean, some of the tendencies or behavior, I should say, that Joe is showing seems a little baby reindeer, stalkery for sure. But I think Schwartz, I never want to let him off the hook altogether on this, because he, we saw him very flip-floppy with this woman, with Joe Wenberg. And I think Schwartz needs to learn how to treat women. And it's something in his 40 plus years on this earth he has not learned yet. All the Toms know how to do is try to villainize the women so that they don't have to take accountability for anything. And it's pretty gross.
I'll leave on a positive note.
Is no victim, but neither is Schwartz. So maybe they just deserve each other at this point. I don't know. But interesting that Luke said that. I also fear for Luke. I fear now for his safety, guys, because, okay. All right. Let's listen to a little Rachel Goes Rogue. I sped it up a little bit for you guys because I love you. I just grabbed 19 minutes, I think, of it that we're going to talk about. This is her episode from yesterday. So I'm listening to all these damn podcasts from the cast members and former cast members, and then Rachel Raquel's pops up, and I'm like, oh my God. It was like a day for all of them to release everything here. Oops, let me share my screen so we can listen. And okay, if you guys can't hear the audio, let me know. Let me do it like this. It was so much content. I was getting overloaded. I was kind of laying there. I wanted to go live yesterday, and I'm like, this is too much. I gotta process all this for a second. All right. So Rachel Goes Rogue from 517. You can check this out on iTunes, all the podcasts. Let's take a listen.
Victim ruthless comment. Tom said it was 50.
Sorry, guys. I forgot to put my AirPod in.
I hear the way that Tom has spoken about the situation.
Okay, let's try it again.
Of that victim ruthless comment, Tom said it was 50-50. I hear the way that Tom has spoken about the situation before, and he portrays it as, I was the one that seduced him and I'm the one that is responsible for it, which is definitely not the case. And Tom was the one that was in the relationship. He had the responsibility to end that relationship with Ariana if he didn't want to be in that anymore, if he wasn't happy in that anymore.
Okay, so she's talking about the reunion. Tom Sandoval, him trying to go, she's fucking coward. And Schwartz almost trying to insinuate that Rachel is worse than Tom. And Tom's like, it's 50-50. Oh, it's 50-50. Oh, seriously. It's not me, Rachel. Yeah, well, I was pretty impressionable. Remember when he said this?
Guess what? I was very impressionable when she took all her clothes off and jumped in my pool.
Have some remorse. Have some sensitivity.
He's so embarrassing. He's so embarrassing. Okay, so she's talking about she has her producers there. If you're wondering who's asking her the questions, it's the producers of her podcast. And I think who does she go? iHeart. Her iHeart producers are asking her questions regarding the reunion in Vanderpump. So
he had support to do that and still failed to do that. I believe that Tom had the responsibility to break up with her. So I don't think that it is 50-50.
Interesting. Put it in the chat. Do you guys think it was 50-50? I mean, you were her friend. It's not like you were. I would say it wasn't 50-50 if you were just some geek off the street, if you were a stranger. But you were her friend. I think it's 50-50. You know, Tom is an idiot and he's horrible, but you were her friend. You lied to her face. You were at her house. You had sex in her house. You kept lying to her just like he did. You owed her something too. Yes. Normally I always say in these cheating situations, they always want to blame the other woman when it's like a stranger and it's like, she doesn't owe you anything. I mean, she should be a better woman and not want to, if she knows someone's, in a relationship, you shouldn't want to pursue that because that's ultimately, it's going to happen to you too. But you should really hold your partner accountable. That's the person that made the vows or the promises to you. But in this situation, you both were two of her nearest and dearest. So 50-50. Okay, it looks like most of you are saying 50-50. Susie says Linda. Michelle says 51-49. I can get with that. Chris says 50-50. Naomi says 50-50. Natashki says he owed her more, but she owed her some. That makes sense too. Rebecca says 75-25, Rachel. Okay. Witness agree, or witness says 75-50%. Rachel. I love that math. That's good math. Melissa 50-50. So there are some that are saying, maybe a little bit different. Like Natashki saying 75 Tom, 25 her, but some people saying 50-50. We got a 70-30 from Dreadful Ruby. I do think Tom did a lot of lying and manipulating of Rachel too. That is a good point. I'd say given the French, and he did isolate her and he was telling people and he shared it with his friends, but she couldn't. And he wanted to keep it that way. That's what guys like him do, so that he would have like a control over her. That's why you leave a woman like Ariana to get with someone who's younger and more impressionable and not as smart. No offense, all offense. Because you wanted control. Wanda Lee says 60-40. Chicken Head says 70-30 because of the grooming. And Tom is 100. He is an old man. He is damn near hospice at this point. So he should know better. He should. Evelyn says 60-40. Rachel as 60 Tom, 40 Rachel, as Tom is so manipulative. Greater Crossroads says 85-15 Rachel. I think I can get down with a 60-40. Vivian says, in all fairness, she didn't have friends. I mean, I guess she had those pageant women who now have to pick up the pieces as she tries to figure out what a female friendship is, as she says. So M Try says, I think Rachel's manipulative too. And I think she's more manipulative than maybe we want to admit. Come on. She comes from the pageant world. She's competitive. She's yeah. Erica says Rachel seems to have a groupie mentality. Oh, you definitely don't want a groupie mentality.
At the end of that exchange too, Katie says that you haven't taken responsibility.
What do you guys need me to do to take responsibility? I really don't know. I take responsibility for my part in the affair. I totally do. I can see how it's messed up, and I apologize to Ariana and the people that I hurt, because it wasn't just Ariana either. It was our friends who trusted me and trusted Tom, and that wasn't cool to be deceiving. And Ariana trusted me to be honest with her, and I had a responsibility to respect our friendship, and I failed to do that. I take responsibility with that. I am sorry.
Well, at least she's owning that. But do you hear the way it's hard to take this chick seriously? And she'll say, I'm just not going to public speak because Lala. I'm just not going to public speaking because Lala makes me nervous, but I kind of love her now. So when she's like, so I am sorry, she wants to just move on so fast.
And Ariana trusted me to be honest with her. And I had a responsibility to respect our friendship. And I failed to do that. I take responsibility with that. I am sorry. I'm doing everything in my power not to put myself in that position again and to really prioritize my female friendships. And I've gone away to figure out what led me here. I have really done a deep dive with therapists on this whole scandal situation. I'm doing this podcast to share those things with you guys because I feel like it will help other people who maybe don't have access to therapy or want to know more, have that curiosity as to like, my thought process behind it and how that.
Okay, no offense, but I don't think you're at the point where you're, mentally evolved enough or therapized enough to be out there being like, I can show you the world. Like no, just maybe leave that to the professionals. Maybe a little more work needs to be done. We're literally just a year off of it. Again, everyone in this situation, Tom and Rachel, they both, Lala, they think so highly of themselves. I'm going to show people. You can't even show yourself. You got to make sure it's going to take some years now to be like, friend dick bad. My friend's dick, no touchy my friend's dick. My friend, it's not their dick. Okay, I touchy. So if your friends are with someone, you never cross that line. It's going to take longer than I think she realizes.
That can relate to themselves. So I really feel like I have done everything in my power to take responsibility and to take accountability. I haven't denied anything, and I am upholding my values, and I'm prioritizing my mental health, and that's really all I can do.
And so you've spoken about this before, and you said that the lawsuit that you are bringing upon Ariana and Tom is just that. It's something that you believe you're doing to uphold your values and to prioritize yourself.
This is also a part of me upholding my boundaries. A boundary has been violated by Tom for filming me without asking my permission first. And if he would have asked, I would have freaking said, hell no.
What if she was like, and if he would have asked, I would have said yes? No, she says, hell no.
And then not only that, but like the boundary had been violated because Tom recorded me without me knowing, but then Ariana was the one that sent it to me.
This is where she loses me every freaking time. It's like, I want to be like, okay, yeah, sure. And then no, you lose me because taking this stupid lawsuit up with Ariana is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my whole damn life. I feel like it's your way to victimize Ariana once again. It's your way to keep hurting her because you're mad, you're pissed off. We heard at the end of the reunion part 3 last season when you opened up and you were like, guys, I have been to St. Louis and I did have sex with Tom and it wasn't just one time and we did it a lot of times and at his house when Ariana was out of town and sometimes when she was home, but when she was grieving her dog and also at her grandma's funeral. And it's like, And you also said that you were so infatuated at the time or so in love with this idea and you loved Ariana that you brought up possibly being in a throuple with them. Do you guys remember when she said that? So I feel like this comes from a place of just wanting to hurt Ariana. There is no freaking reason you should be suing Ariana for the fact that Tom Sandoval recorded you without your consent while you were doing, finger banging sessions on FaceTime and then saved it to his phone. So he screen recorded it, saved it to his phone where anybody could find it. It's not Ariana's fault. And the fact that she screenshot or whatever and sent it back to you and said, you're dead to me. That was just letting you know. I know what's up. Maybe you could argue with a clear head and not being betrayed by your friend. She shouldn't have sent her. I think it was allegedly a screenshot of the video. I don't think she sent the whole video back unless it was just a small clip because I don't even know if the phone will let you. If it would be pretty large. It depends how long the fingering was. If it was a long fingerling session, I don't think you can send that video. She'd have to then upload it to some kind of sharing site and then share the link with Rachel Raquel. And then Rachel will go, she saw what? And then you have to click on the link or drop it in a Dropbox. I just don't think Ariana went to all that. I think she probably screenshotted Rachel Raquel mid fingerling and was like, you're dead to me. You're dead to me. Thank you, Andrea, for becoming a member. Welcome. Cha Cha Coconut says Ariana should sue both of them for intentional infliction of emotional and financial harm. Yes, because this not only is going to continually so Ariana can't move on from this, but it's also the financial aspect. I hope that Ariana's lawyers have it where when she wins, which I hope she does, Rachel Raquel has to pay for all of her lawyers and expenses. But it's again taking her time, and Ariana's on. She's soaring. She's doing all these great things, and it's like Rachel, you're still missing. You're missing the point. It was Tom Sandoval, you and Tom Sandoval. So if you want to be mad at anyone for this particular thing, it was all Tom Sandoval. Why would you blame his ex-girlfriend that you were friends with while you were banging him? Who wouldn't? I mean, I don't even know what I would do in that situation of a close friend like that, but I could see myself just like screenshot and go like, oh, what is this or something, It's not like she was like, do they have proof like Ariana was trying to distribute this? Like a Pam and Tommy Lee sex tape or something. It's just, this is when I get mad again at Rachel Raquel, and I'm like, oh, you've learned nothing.
And that's a boundary violation as well.
No, it's
This
not.
is an action I'm taking to uphold my boundaries and to show other people that this isn't okay.
Well, I want your opinion on Sheena kind of speaking up for Ariana.
Yeah. Show that what Tom did isn't okay. And then what you did, having the affair with him, isn't okay. But you don't have to, why do you have to bring Ariana down to the depths of hell with you two sex demons,
Ariana, because it's almost like a role reversal of what happened last year, where they were asking Sheena about her lawsuit. She couldn't speak on it. And then Tom kind of spoke and interjected and caused a whole issue there. Now this time, Sheena's the one that's speaking up because they can't speak on it. What was your take on that?
I think it's interesting because in this reunion as well, like I'm not there to be represented in the conversation either. I remember last year when they were asking Sheena about the restraining order that was put in place. They only asked Sheena about that, and they didn't ask me about it when I was on stage. So watching this back, obviously.
When she said that, I did think like, oh, I guess I would have wanted to hear Rachel say what happened, just to hear like, did we ever hear Rachel on the reunion say what Sheena did to her? How she punched her, didn't punch her? Because we know, obviously, Sheena's defense was ironclad. I cannot make a fist. I have nails. My boss Franz. I wouldn't punch my boss Franz, and I can't make a fist. And I don't think we ever heard. I would have loved to hear her retell that, but I think it was just such an emotional reunion at that time. Nobody gave a shit. Like we were just so upset about the scandal of it all. There just wasn't time. You had done so much dirty deeds, so many dirty deeds that we just didn't have time to get to your side of the punching, no punching, assault, RO situation.
Obviously, I know that, I'm not there to answer any questions, but it is interesting to see that Sheena is the one as a representative for Ariana saying it's ridiculous. Of course, she can't comment on it. And then also Tom spinning it like, oh, well, I understand if she just wanted to press charges against me, but doing it against Ariana is despicable or whatever he said. It became a big deal because, first of all, you don't take a video like that without somebody knowing. And then you don't leave it on your phone for your girlfriend to find. And then also the way it blew up, Ariana went straight to production to tell them about it. TMZ reported on it and this video, and there was a target on me. Like people were out to take me down. And I knew that this video had a high probability of being circulated. So that was absolutely terrifying. And oh my gosh, if that video got out, I would have still gone to the Meadows because I would have been in an even worse place. But like, imagine the additional trauma on top of that, what I was already going through. I think I would have been there for like.
And she just has this way, not as blatant as Tom Sandoval, of painting herself as the victim. This trauma I was going through. You mean the consequences you created with your actions? And I'm not talking about the illegal recording of her fingerling. I'm talking about the relationship with Tom Sandoval, the affair. What? Oh my gosh. F. Eva says, in my opinion, suing Ariana is Rachel's way of punishing Ariana for publicizing the affair, whether Rachel realizes it or not. And I think you have a point there, and I think it's her way of punishing Ariana for this, what she believes is producers finding out about the affair through this sex tape. So she kind of, in her mind, is thinking, well, if Ariana had never told them and found the sex tape and then told producers that they're not the sex tape or whatever, for lack of a better, the fingerling, the fingering FaceTime. If they had never found the fingering FaceTime and Ariana hadn't talked about it, no one would know I did that. No, Rachel, if Tom Sandoval had never pressed record without your consent during the fingering FaceTime, no one would ever know about it. So I think it's that and a combination of Ariana having so much popularity after this and her kind of resenting her because she's like a scorned ex. She wanted a throuple with Tom and Ariana. She was like, well, I loved Ariana too. And Lala, we could have all lived together in like the house because it was like really big. And I know because I had sex in like every room. And it was like, you guys, it was like 4,000 square feet. That's a lot of sex. I mean, I'm tall, so I can cover more square footage. But like me and Tom were banging everywhere. And there were places I was like, have we done it here before? Because it was just like, it was a whirlwind because it's so huge. But yeah. So Rachel, please stop. Please
like
stop.
6 months.
Well, he then said that you don't have a soul.
I'm not going around on my podcast saying that these people don't have souls. It's a new low, and I think it's more reflective of who Tom is as a person. And honestly, it's really hard for me to even like comment on it right now because I just know that that's not true at all. So it's hard for me to like get into some sort of feeling about it.
Do you also think, Rachel, that it's two-tiered? So on one hand, there's these individual people talking about individual feelings, but at the end of the day, they're still on a reality show. They're making sound bites and also sort of redirecting the narrative. So when the fans are saying, what's going on with the show? And it's not great and it's boring. Well, they bring you into the picture and they badmouth you. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that part of them is actually saying it, or part of it is production value and the direction of the narrative because it brings up news?
That's a great.
Can you imagine how long they had to pause after that? And she was like, I'm sorry. Okay. Can you break that down? Wait. Okay. Lala said that she's a mistress bimbo. Okay. What? That was the longest question / point this person was trying to make. And then she's like, that's a great question. And I think that was English.
Question that I kind of forgot to think about because, as we all know, Tom does prioritize the show. This is not his first rodeo. He knows what he's doing. He knows that production needs certain sound bites. And it does change the trajectory of how people view me, I guess, in a way, if I'm not there to represent myself. So, yeah, that is interesting. A really good point that I think we do need to take into consideration. It's not that exciting of a show, and the cast seems to get all riled up about tearing me down. But yeah, it seems like it's calculated what Tom is saying about me to present me in a way that would in turn support him being a better looking person.
At the end of this whole conversation.
Okay, so I think you're just saying Tom continues to, you're not there, you can't defend yourself, so Tom paints you as the true villain to get it off himself, right? Is that what she's saying? Sunshine in Texas 94, exactly. Her producers literally have to babysit her podcast. Oh, they do. Oh, they do. They really do. Chickenhead, thank you so much for the super chat. Tom was being performative, Rachel. Oh, he is such a bad performer too.
About you. James apologizes to the group for introducing you to everyone. They kind of say, well, you're the one that brought her in here. And he's like, sorry, guys. And they end by saying, that's the apology we all needed. What did that feel like to see?
It's just like one big, huge eye roll. It's like the blame game. It's like, well, it's your fault. Well, it's your fault. It's James's fault for even bringing her here. I think sometimes when I watch this show, I disassociate a little bit because it is painful to watch. And when I saw that and also like when I see James, it's like I've had to work through a lot of emotions through that relationship. Seeing James's whole arc this season and how he has so much support, which
it seems like Rachel was so hurt by the James breakup, even though she saw it coming, or she was so mad, I think less of the breakup and more that he moved on so quick with Allie that everyone was going to pay. So she took that as, I'm doing too much for other people. I need to stop focusing on other people and start focusing on me and what feels good to me.
Which is fine. Like, it's fine. But I don't think it's earned based off of the things that he has done. And so when I see that and like the cast all like laughing and bonding over, oh, that was the apology we needed. It's like, it kind of makes you go insane a little bit because, you know, I've been apologizing. I've been taking accountability. This has been my, you know, my soul's journey.
What is with these people? They want to put a time limit on when everyone has to be over it. Like, oh my God, I apologize. Get over it. Tom Sandoval's the worst about this when he is so disingenuous with his apologies. But it's like, I've been apologizing. Like, you guys need to move on. No, that's not how apologies work. Some people might never forgive you. Sometimes you do shit that people will never forgive you for. That's just how it is. Everyone has to sit with that reality. I just don't. They're just like, oh my God, it's been like a month or two. It's been, oh my God, so long ago. Seriously, I like apologized.
Through this experience of really trying to overcome my social anxiety and like seeing the show as an opportunity to
nobody is worried about it. You clearly do not have that much social anxiety because socially you were performing, ma'am.
Do that. And then overcoming some of these codependency tendencies with James and overcoming that relationship. And then following my heart. And where did it lead me? Straight to Tom Sandoval. And meanwhile,
I don't think that's true. I don't think that was your heart. I think that was your vagina. You followed your baby door. You followed your horniness.
All of this is being filmed.
Or you followed the Coors Light. I think it was Coors Light, mushrooms, those lights that you plug in. Those like star galaxy lights.
I'm in my
dangerous combination. It can cause seizures or bad choice in dick partners.
My 20s. And we're all supposed to make mistakes in our 20s and learn from it. And
where's this rule too? I mean, I understand I made a lot of mistakes in my 20s and stuff, but now they're talking as if this is like Bible. They're like, and we're all supposed to make mistakes in our 20s. Yeah, but like this is a pretty big one, Rachel. It might take a little time. Okay. We don't all just go fuck one of our best friend's boyfriends for 7 months plus when they're mourning the death of their loved ones in their home while they're sleeping in a Jeddah. Like it's not really a mistake. That seems to be like an action. Like Katie points out this season that you guys chose to do over and over and over and over and over again to continually hurt someone.
And I feel like I've done exactly that. Yeah, I think it's just hard to watch scenes like that.
It seems to me when you talk about the experience with James versus the experience with Tom, that you actually get more choked up and emotional about James. And I sense more anger towards Tom. And it's like you're over it. You're past it. Is that accurate? How would you interpret or explain that?
Totally. Yeah. I feel
the producer is so like, she's just, it's such just like she's on NPR, you know, her intellect. And she asked this just like, I mean, it is definitely leading the witness, these questions, but these just very thought out response questions, if you will. And Rachel goes, totally. Yeah, totally.
I feel a lot more anger towards the Tom situation. And part of that is like anger towards myself for allowing myself to be in that position. With my relationship with James, looking back on that, I just feel a lot of pain, a lot of what I thought to be as self-sacrifice, because I saw the potential of who this person could be. And I also clung onto the good moments and disassociated from the atrocious moments. Yeah, there's a lot of pain and trauma with that.
Yeah.
And I think it also like makes sense as to why I wasn't okay after that relationship. And it makes sense.
Well, then
how
why
I ended up
didn't you go teach the children? Remember when Rachel's dad picked her up for the reunion? And I was like, this is the best thing. Me and Nana were watching that and we were like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to Rachel Raquel. Her dad came all the way from Arizona. He's like, get in the car. She's breaking up with James Kennedy. Love it. They were a horrific relationship. And she was going to go teach the children. I was like, hell yeah. And I was like, get back to Arizona. Get back to the desert. Get back to the scorpions. You get back there. Go to Sedona. Go teach them kids. And why didn't you do that? You know, that's what you said you were going to do. And then you came back for what? For Tom Sandy Butts Wiener? Ugh, horrible. Horrible.
With Tom. With the relationship with Tom too, it was like so fun and like overjoyous. And like, yeah, I didn't feel so good about it when I was hanging out with a group with Ariana, or like I didn't feel good about it when I wasn't with Tom. But then when I was with him, it was like I was able to fully escape and to feel okay. All that to say, yeah, there's a lot more anger towards Tom, especially the way that he's handling it. Like, no accountability, it seems like. And he just wants to put all the blame on me, which infuriates me. And then with James, it's like, I guess some resentment because I know how shitty of a partner he's been. And I felt like I had to step into like a motherly role with him. I think there's frustration and resentment, especially the way that the show's portraying him this season and like seeing his little hero arc. It's gross to me.
It is gross.
When a part
I
of you is
agree.
hanging on to a relationship, even though you're the one breaking up with the person, it does feel painful when that person moves on so incredibly quickly. Like they only needed a few weeks to grieve and then they're on to the next.
I think that's when we really saw a change in Rachel Raquel, is when Allie, like, she was like, oh shit. There was just a change that happened there. And that's something that she was not going to get over. And everyone was going to pay because she just didn't think. I guess she just didn't think that James would move on that quickly. And James like, hey, no, this is Allie. I'm in love with her. She's the best. See, she's way better than you. She's like, what? Wow. Horrible.
Next, it does something where you think like, oh, did you not really love me? Were you not really in this relationship? All of those thoughts go through your head, and or for me anyway, and it's painful.
Year compared to last year, would you say it's harder or easier not being there? But that also means that you didn't have the chance to respond and defend yourself this year.
It was definitely harder last year watching the reunion than it is this year, even though I'm not there to defend myself. That's kind of like the name of the game at this point. We're at the end of the season and I haven't been there the entire time to defend myself. I also know how reunions go, kind of know what to expect at this point. And I also know that my voice isn't in the collective of Vanderpump Rules. It is difficult in that way, but it's also like I have this podcast to be able to have a voice. I feel secure in myself just knowing that I'm able to at least have a voice.
So how do you feel about what Lala said towards Katie? Because for so long, Katie's been positioning herself as a no BS kind of girl. She says you bullied her and, she's ride or die for Ariana at the end of the day. Lala called her out for complaining about Ariana and not being true to herself and maybe playing to the cameras. How does that make you feel?
Yeah. Okay. So I had to rewatch that scene twice.
Yeah. So I'm still rewatching that scene, and Lala, I'm not sure.
Because I was confused at first. I was like, what are they arguing about?
And yeah, we were all confused because we were like, what the hell is Lala doing? And why is she talking about messages and outing her personal shit with Katie when it seemed like Katie was just venting about a situation?
It's kind of like one of those nuanced things where you have
she's using nuance now. That's so Tom Schwartz of her.
To take into consideration the show and the rules of the show and putting on a facade or front for a means to an end, which I think every single cast member has done. So yeah, it's interesting because I think, Lala wouldn't just make something up about Katie complaining about Ariana. And I think that Lala felt abandoned by Katie, especially after they were so close the year prior for season 10. I think Lala was just pointing out that like it's convenient that Ariana is the it girl and she is, the fan favorite. And it's very easy to kind of like flip flop into who is the fan favorite and to be close to them.
Bling, bling, bling. Bitches is mad.
This fan favorite has them all so pressed. Listen, Rachel, you dropped the bag and the ball more than I've ever seen on a reality show before. You were going to be the it girl. They were going to build up your story. They had James Kennedy as the villain. You got out of this relationship. Everyone was cheering for you. We thought you were going to go home with your dad, but then we heard you're coming back, and they literally set it up for you to bing, slam dunk it Okay. And you know, looking for love and all these things, people were going to be on your side. You dropped the ball. You ruined that. I mean, it's the same with Tom Sandoval. He had such a good edit for so long. And then unfortunately, he just kept pushing and pushing and being awful to the point where they couldn't save him anymore. The edit could not save him. Oh my goodness.
For longevity of your own fan base and the longevity of the show. But they also own a sandwich shop together. So I think there's like genuine connection there too. Yeah, it seems like there may be a little bit of manipulation with not being fully honest with how you feel about certain.
Again, venting about a friend to another friend isn't a defining moment that is exactly how Katie feels all the time about Ariana. We all vent to friends about other friends or situations, or like Katie was saying, she's like, I was having imposter syndrome. I was feeling insecure. I thought I could go to my friend. I didn't want to bog down Ariana because she was already dealing with so much. You know, it was stressful. So it's nothing I ever wanted to turn into this big, but ultimately Katie did say she went and talked to Ariana about this, but she's a good friend in that she knew that Ariana was already facing so much in front of the cameras that she wasn't going to pile this on her, and that this Tom Sandoval redemption arc, she wasn't going to be a player in that. She wasn't going to help push forward that redemption arc. She just wasn't going to do it. So now she has to pay with Lala trying to create some kind of, story where Katie is so fake, or Lala and Sheena, I should say, where Katie really is, hates Ariana. No, nice try.
Certain person.
Katie did just post something.
Okay, I'll read this. Katie posted on her Instagram story, I'm someone who has suffered from imposter syndrome for as long as I have known myself. Hence why I was apprehensive about opening the sandwich shop on my own. So when Ariana was going through not only a world of hurt, but also getting some amazing opportunities, that changed a lot of things during a pivotal time. I was extremely sensitive to what she was going through, but also very supportive. I was also dealing.
Heather, so perfectly said. After sleeping with Ariana's partner for 7 months to possibly a year behind her back, and while she was sleeping and when she was grieving the dead, how do you feel about Katie as a friend, right? Like, who cares how Rachel feels? That's such a good point. I should have thought of that, Heather. Like, what the fuck do we care what you think? You were a horrible friend to Ariana. You were the worst. No matter what Katie said or didn't say behind her back, you still are the worst friend a gal could ask for in this situation.
Dealing with immense insecurity about what I could take on, and simply didn't want to put that on her. I had an emotional response that didn't feel appropriate bringing to her front door. So I went where I felt safe, or where I thought was safe, until I could find the appropriate conversation was to have with Ariana, which of course I did. And we have had plenty since. Okay. Here we go. It's so funny because like this show, social media is,
dude, now it's like, oh my God, I'm like, dude, Sandoval and Rachel Raquel are like jizzing at the fact that they can point and again attack like Katie, and Katie's a bad friend. No one can be worse to Ariana than you two. Oh my gosh.
Is playing another aspect in reality TV these days, especially Vanderpump Rules, because, Katie was able to think about it and come up with a response. And I think her response seems to be genuine.
I hate to break it to you, Rachel, but like, I don't think we need to go to you to be the judge of what's genuine and what's not.
And it's a little shady because she's basically saying like, I trusted Lala to keep this in the.
That's not shady. That's honest, because you trust your friends. Certain things you say, they're not going to run off and tell anyone, let alone tell the world for a paycheck and try to paint a false narrative against her because you got to save some show because you keep buying houses allegedly you might not be able to afford.
In the vault, and to keep this between us. And Lala went against Katie's expectation of friendship to bring it to the forefront for the show, which also supports the argument that Lala, she prioritizes the show a lot.
Yes,
interesting.
Robin.
What do you guys think?
A lot of fan feedback is that Katie just went and got a PR rep to write a statement for her.
No, I've seen that nowhere. Producer lady, NPR lady, Michelle Norris, where did you hear this? Have you heard this? A lot of fan feedback is that Katie just went and got a PR rep to write a statement for her, which is quite funny because that's what she always says about you. Nobody said that. No, again, where are people saying this? I hear Sheen on her podcast go, Lala, she's my best friend, and she's just saying the things that people are afraid to say. No, she's not. She's not a voice of reason. No one's afraid to say anything. Lala's trying to save her ass. She thought she was going to, she really believed the hype. Probably that was pitched to her like, okay, we're going to do this Tom Sandoval thing. Ariana's probably leaving the show. You're going to be, fucking top dog. Do you want to be that fan favorite? And she's like, yo, I do. I got Tupac in me. I'm not a supporting character. I'm a main character. And then when that didn't work out for her, she's like, I guess I shouldn't have prioritized money over friendships or my own integrity. But this producer lady, now she's starting to piss me off.
For her, which is quite funny because that's what she always says about you. But the fans are all writing that she needed to go get help for a statement.
My God.
She did seem very uncomfortable watching the reunion, kind of like she had these feelings, but she didn't want to target Ariana, so she did take them elsewhere. Mm-hmm. And when you confide, I feel like everyone's vented to a friend in like a moment of weakness. Mm-hmm. And
that's, you don't even watch the show, then you don't know how Katie Maloney works. Some people don't and will never like Katie Maloney because she is so honestly herself in the stuff she says. She's like, you're a clown. You should save up for therapy. She's going to tell you if she feels that way.
And it doesn't necessarily reflect on how you feel about that person. You just need to vent to someone.
PR person to write it.
So it did feel like that. But yeah, I think it's complicated when the person that you're venting to feels like you're on their side and then you're filming a show later and act completely differently. So there's layers, I think, to it.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely like layers, like a layer cake. Like I love layer cake.
Layers. I think it's also interesting how I'm no Tom fan, but to Tom and Tom's defense.
That should never come out of your mouth. A man you're suing for revenge porn? For sharing an intimate video of you fingering yourself on FaceTime? Why? Can someone give me the name of this therapist? I got to call them. The one that she saw at the Meadows, because I don't know. We got to check their license or something. This is ridiculous. What? And she's saying it like, yeah, to their defense. Their defense?
Not once have they.
Are you kidding me, girl? Yes, they most certainly have. And James pointed out how Tom Schwartz was ear to ear smiles talking about how the shop hadn't opened up yet. And they make little backhanded comments and they say stuff under their breath about the shop. So yeah, they have. Yeah. And last season, Tom would show up after he was, banging you or whatever to something about her. Ariana's all proud and he's like, can't wait to get drunk and stick my dick where it doesn't belong. So yeah, they've definitely said things. Tom just got done on the finale calling Ariana a lazy fucking loser. Why would you ever say to Tom and Tom's defense? Oh my God.
Talked down to the girls for the sandwich shop not opening on time and haven't made it a big deal.
We got to speak to the manager, Kelly Cal.
Personally know how difficult it is to open up a bar or a restaurant.
No, they don't. Because when the going got tough, Tom Sandoval went on the road to tour with a karaoke band that he pays to play with him, which obviously you should pay, but you're not making any money because you're not talented and it's karaoke and people can see that for free. They can see better singing at a bar for free from strangers than going to see him singing karaoke. While Ariana and Katie have really been trying to get this sandwich shop up. And the only time Ariana was away from this was when she was offered Broadway, which no one would turn down, even in times of a business transaction.
Whereas other people haven't been so kind to them about it. And then to Ariana's defense too, she did say
they took a year deciding. Tom, we remember Schwartz and Skeezies. They were trying the dumbest little things they couldn't agree on. And with Greg and Tom was yelling at Tom and it was a whole mess. They just think bro, I'll think of some shots.
Say
and I'm going to name the shots. That's what they think owning a bar is. Coming up with shots.
I've always been supportive of that, which she has been. So
What about the actual sandwich shop itself, too? They said it was going to be open by the time the premiere aired, and everybody's still spinning the question, is it or isn't it? What's real? What's not? Is it
What do you mean what's real? It's opening on the 22nd. They told us that. They give us the update. What are you talking about? This producer, girl, no. Lala Buffenmeyer, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, thank you for the VP recaps. I am ready for Big Brother. When will we have a new night pants with Nana? Later today. I got to hit up Nana, but I think we're going to have one. We were going to do 3 o'clock my time, but now I'm running really late and I didn't make the live yet, but I think later after this, we'll be having a night pants. I just got to call Nana because she's making chili. She's very, very busy woman today. But thank you, Lala. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Is it a sham? Is it a storyline?
How is it a sham? I love how they're like, is it a sham? Yes, it's a sham. It's a sham with ham.
And it's not open now again when they said it was going to be open. What do you think?
If it was a sham,
oh my God, you're a sham. This podcast is a sham. You told us I'm not going to talk about Vanderpump all the time. It's all you've talked about.
I think that they would be announcing that it was going to be open because they would know that people would be disappointed and they would get a lot of crap for it. So I don't know. I don't think it's a sham, but the projected opening of Something About Her is now May 22nd. May 22nd is only about a week post the reunion airing. So they're not that far off, but I mean, don't announce that they're going to be open by the time it airs if you're not, because I feel like people will just be like, all right, we're going to order a sandwich. And people will be disappointed. Like I suspect they are now.
I don't really think people are disappointed. I think they're just like, hey, gals, whenever it's ready to open, we're ready to support you. I think that's where we're at, Rachel. But yeah, nice try.
I'm not reading the comments, so I don't know. But yeah.
To kind of wrap things up, I feel like there was a little bit of tension between the cast. Clearly in the moment where like Lisa was talking about the sandwich shop with Ariana and Katie, there was definitely tension there between the girls and Lisa. Do you think this is a sign that the cast is kind of unraveling? What do you think about the future of this cast?
I think tension is like the show's middle name. And if there isn't tension, then it isn't doing well. So I think that, I don't know, like, is the show going to come back or not? That is the question on everybody's minds. And I think it's the right move if they really are pausing it.
Rachel sounds really excited. Like she's like, will they come back? I don't know. It's so exciting over a show that allegedly like ruined your life, according to you, and that you wouldn't come back to, and they wouldn't give you money, the money you needed or wanted, and the development deal you wanted. But you sound really excited about this show. She's gonna have a Vanderpump. She's gonna have to change this if it comes back, and it'll just be recaps.
It to let the cast process this traumatic event for everybody, because it has been nonstop and there really hasn't been any downtime to take a beat and process it. And I think they also are like, all right, what is the next season going to be? Because what are our storylines and what is the new drama? Because we're not going to keep harping on this if Rachel isn't coming.
I'm not saying they're going to ask her back, but I guarantee if they ask her back, she's going to go. She'll go. She'll go.
Coming back, then there's no reason to.
She's so excited. And like you guys are saying, you can hear it in her voice. Like she's smiling as she says this.
You keep talking about it because we've kind of beat the dead horse already. I think it's smart to let the cast live and create some drama in the real world to bring back for the next season if they are going to continue Vanderpump Rules. But I predict that Lala and Sheena are going to transfer over to the Valley because the Valley.
I mean, yeah, that's what everybody's saying. You don't got to predict that. That's in the news.
Has been picked up for another season. And it just makes sense the way that
Rachel is being a blogger right now.
They bought homes in the Valley and
she's like a Vanderpump Rules Bravo blogger.
They have babies. And they're
watch out, Kempire. Here comes Rachel.
Friends with the cast over there. So it seems like it's a pretty seamless transition. Okay. I don't think that James and Allie will be in the Valley.
Okay.
I honestly think that this would be a great place for Vanderpump Rules to end because it's had a good run. I don't know. I think, and I'm hesitant to say anything because, I get picked apart, but whatever. I think the fans are starting to see how contrived the show can be.
I mean, you're not wrong there. We see it.
and that this friend group is not actually a friend group. They are cast members who have a job first and foremost and will do anything to secure their payday.
Like Lala.
But regardless, if this is the last season or if it's not, I wish the cast all the best.
That's so nice.
I really, truly do hope that they find healing in this because it has been traumatic. And I think that the show really does kind of emotionally stunt an individual. So I think we all have some catching up to do on adulting and life.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. And that is the extent of what I wanted to play regarding her podcast and her, you know, there's definitely, I don't know if that clip was in there, but because I'm like, my brain feels like a little bit like mac and cheese after listening to her for long periods of time. But she was making, is it this one where she was? I might have. Oh yeah. So there was a whole nother part, but oh my God. Well, she was basically, and I don't think it was in this one, but where she was talking about Lala. Okay, let's just listen to the audio.
Person is showing
Where she's definitely now becoming a fangirl. Like she's appreciating Lala, and watch Lala be the bridge to get her back on Vanderpump, which would be so Lala.
really bad for my mental well-being. And this is the season that they got to single week and just painting me in the worst possible light, even though I'm not even there to defend myself. But yeah, I have gone rogue. I'm actually like figuring out what is the healthiest option for me. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. Going back to Vanderpump Rules would jeopardize my mental well-being. And after watching this whole season play out, I'm happy that I didn't go back. I think it would have been really bad for my mental well-being. And this is the season that they got to have. And unfortunately, like it wasn't that spectacular from my point of view. Anyway, my opinion. No.
Rachel says, it was horrible. I wasn't in it. It was horrible.
I'm not going to let myself enter into that arena again and be dogpiled on and be humiliated and harassed and bullied and talked down to the way that I have been in the past for things that were for smaller things, if that makes sense. And this is like the center, the nucleus of
Is she talking pre-Scandival, like how Lala always came for her? Because Ariana always stuck up for you. She had your back. She didn't bully you.
Pump right now. But I think it's also like, if you really wanted me to come back, then show some compassion for the network. Support your cast members when they're asking for help. You know, if I was supported in the way that I felt like I deserved to be, then maybe there would have been a world where I did come back. But then I also.
So what do you mean treated like you should be? So they would pay for your Meadows bill and pay you the same salary as Ariana? Is that how you're talking about being treated? Compassion, girl, you gotta learn the compassion.
Would have had to ensure that we would have productive conversations and not just like, you know, dogpiling and gaslighting by Sheena and
who taught her
negativity. I guess it's a.
You guys, who taught her this dogpiling comment? Also, that's a horrible term, dogpiling. But who taught her that? Because she's using it a lot.
Tough ask. You know, I had an ask and I wasn't met where I wanted to be met. And so I had to walk away.
So Tom was asked if he knew anything about you wanting to come back. And he said that he encouraged you to take time away from everyone, including him, and come to your decision that way. You've kind of talked about how things went down in previous episodes. How did it feel hearing him say that?
Oh my gosh, it's infuriating. And I don't mean to.
What? I don't remember her yelling like that. Oh my gosh. She's really excited.
Asked if he knew anything about you wanting to come back. And he said that he encouraged you to take time away from everyone, including him, and come to your decision that way. You've kind of talked about how things went down in previous episodes. How did it feel hearing him say that?
Oh my gosh, it's infuriating. And I don't mean to smile, but watching him say that is so infuriating because then like a few seconds later, he's calling me a coward. But if you listen to him, like he's constantly contradicting himself in the way that he's putting up this front, like he's being supportive and he wants the best for me. And he wants me to like take some space to figure things out for myself. Yet if I do take some space and figure things out for myself, not only am I selfish, but if I choose to not come back, then I'm also a coward. So do you see how infuriating that can be? And how do you handle that? It's like you just have to laugh it off because this person is showing you time and time again the type of person that they are. And I want to believe that he has good intentions and that he could be a supportive person. But deep down, he has ulterior motives, and he really just wanted me back because it would make him look better and he would have more support.
So on one hand, you have Tom calling you a coward. On the other hand, you have Lala kind of sticking up for you and saying that, you know, she didn't know if she could do what you did last year, showing up to the reunion. She says that time heals.
Girl, that wasn't sticking up for you. She's trying to secure the bag and bring Ariana down. So
Had you come back,
nothing to do with you.
Probably would have had a really productive conversation. But then on the other hand, she's like, but I still stand by everything that I said at the reunion last year. So what is your take on what Lala was saying at the reunion, and where is your relationship with her today? Because she kind of seems like the only one that's at least had your back in small ways.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how this has played out. And my feelings towards Lala have changed a little bit since we first started recording this podcast and since the moment that I got that voice memo from her back, you know, months and months ago, last summer. At first, I really thought that she wanted me to come back to the show, and that was the only intention for sending me that voice memo. But as I'm seeing her really connect to the different parts of being in an abusive, narcissistic relationship, there's like a common thread there. And I think she really does get it because she's experienced it firsthand. And it's validating in a way to have that representation on Vanderpumprules when I'm not there. So hearing her stick up for me once again and just validate that I was very courageous to come back for the reunion last year, it is validating. I think also she walks a fine line between being supportive of me and also, like how she said she stands behind what she said last year at the reunion. I think she's also aware that everyone else in the room is anti-Rachel. So she's choosing her words carefully. But if you listen to what she actually has to say, you can tell that she's pretty supportive, which is a good feeling.
So where would you say your relationship with her is today?
Well, I don't have a relationship with her because I don't text her or call her or
Right
reach out to
now.
her at all. So we don't have a relationship.
It's coming.
But I don't have hard feelings against her. I do think that
Oh my goodness. This is coming. Similar to the Schwartz and Lala showmance. I think the Rachel and Lala, I think knowing what these producers have done, they'll think that's the saving grace for the show. Give them some time to breathe. And how great would the fans love it if Rachel and Lala could come together? You know, they were such arch enemies for so long, and they could just come together and then also still support the Toms, you know, and talk about how mean Katie and Ariana are and how, you know, sometimes men are just right and women are just wrong or something. Like I have a feeling there's even, and Lala's going to say, because I'm that bitch, because I am Lauren from Utah, finger guns. I'm that bitch because I can own when it's time to move on, when I need another paycheck to pay off this house. I'm that bitch. Oh, it's coming, you guys.
maybe Lala and I could have a constructive conversation to move forward.
No.
I'm not sure that we would hang out and become friends, but I do think we have a common ground for both reality TV and bad past relationships.
Oh no, they have a common ground for needing money and hating Ariana and being peanut butter and jelly, and that's what they will come together on. Oh, you guys. She has no hard feelings. She's still going to sue Ariana, but Rachel Raquel has no hard feelings for Lala, who had sex with your boyfriend. And it was most certainly more than once, in my opinion. Who was like, I wasn't your best friend, ho. Ariana's still evil, horrible. So is Katie for just upholding, you know, their boundaries, their standards, for being genuinely hurt by your actions. But Lala, she's redeemable. Just wait for it, you guys. It's coming. Artist, so good to see you. Thank you for the super chat. Artist says, Rocky, Rocky, bang, bang. Shut up. Rachel, Rocky, Rocky, bang, bang. Shut it down. Wanda Lee, thank you for the super chat. Wanda says, coins for Buffy slaying gear, aka toy funds. Oh my gosh, she'll be so excited. Teddy got a new duck toy yesterday. where do we get him? We get him at home with Costco. I think we got him at Costco, and he already chewed the duck's butt out and pulled where the squeaky thing is off. I was like, darn it, I can only get those like indestructible ones, but it's coming, you guys. Like Tracy said, just wait for it. Just wait for it. Right, Heidi? Ariana should definitely sue both of these liars. But what are you going to get out of them? They don't have any money. You know, if she sues Tom, she'll just take Tom's mom's money. If she sues Rachel, she'll just take Rachel's mom's money. And if she sues Lala, she'll just take Lala's mom's money. So it's like, what's the point? Crazy. So those are that's the craziness that is going on, you guys. Thank you, Soraya. Yep, Joe, totally agree with you. I appreciate that. You guys, it was a lot. I know it was a lot to digest, but I appreciate you guys being here for me as we talk through this craziness that surrounds Vanderpump Rules and the current cast, ex-cast members. What will happen? What will be? Like I said, next week we have some fun. My friend Rebecca Lieb is going to be joining us to talk Vanderpump Rules on Monday. Ryan Bailey is going to be with me on Wednesday. So we have lots of things to look forward to. Tomorrow, I know we have a jersey, but the Timberwolves are in Game 7 against the Denver Nuggets, and I am going to be watching that game. So I might have to go live later on Monday to do my recap of New Jersey, because I am just hoping the Timberwolves can pull through. Apologies to my Denver Nuggets fans, but I really would like the T-Wolves to win. So all the love to the Minnesota Timberwolves tomorrow. It's going to be so exciting, but I'm also going to be nervous because I'm like freaking out over basketball now. And my brother, so you guys, I just love Minnesota sports, and but mostly I just like hockey. And I've told you guys that before, but this basketball team, I used to watch the Timberwolves, but then, you know, they were bad for a really long time. No offense, all offense. And if a Minnesota sports team is going to be winning at something, I am on board, because we deserve it, because we've went through a lot of loss on our sports teams. But I talked to my brother about it, who's been, you know, a basketball fan forever. And he was like, I'm surprised you don't watch basketball. It is like, it's the sport that's the most, he thinks is the closest to reality TV. And he doesn't really like reality TV. And I was like, what? And he was telling me these crazy things about what's going on in basketball in the NBA. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it is like a reality TV show. And right now, A-Rod is trying to buy the Timberwolves, and he was going to. And then there was their other owner, who's like this 80-year-old guy, was like, because their stock went up, and now they're like fighting in court over that. And he was talking to me about how it's all corrupt, like the how their drafts are corrupt. And there was just all these things. There was so much more. But I was like, oh, this seems very reality TV. Go Canucks. Yay. I really wanted the Wild to do better, but we got a lot of injuries, and we don't have the money for the players, because we're still paying off Parisi and what's his nuts, their contracts. So we got to wait. But yes, go hockey, go basketball when it's the Minnesota Timberwolves, and all the good things. So let me know if my other, any other NBA fans, because tomorrow I'm going to be, I got some Minnesota friends coming over who now moved here, and we are going to be cheering for the T-Wolves, going, go Ant, go Naz Reid. I do like myself some Naz Reid. I think he might even be my favorite. Go Gummy Bear. And that's Rudy Gobert. I call him Gummy Bear. It's cute. It's cute. So mom's dating teammates, MILFs. What? Some people's moms are dating people on their team. Maybe I gotta cover the NBA and what's going on, because oh my gosh. That's crazy. Suter triumphed over Parisi last night. Oh. Candy says, triumphed over Parisi. Like, what happened? What did I miss? What did Suter do? What happened? I love hockey. It's just my favorite sport. Oh, and going to live games. We have a team out here called the Firebirds, and they're like the minor league team, whatever that's called in hockey. I only know it in baseball terms. And they're so good. We've only had this is the second year we've had the team out here. And the first year they went to the Calder Cup, which is the equivalent of the Stanley Cup in the NHL. And now they're back in the playoffs. And I don't know what to do with myself, because being a girl that grew up in Minnesota, I don't know what it's like to cheer for winning sports teams. we had the Twins in 87 and 91, and then that's it. I don't think have the Vikings ever even won a Super Bowl? I don't think so. Timberwolves in 2004, we almost got to the finals, but the Lakers beat us. Like, you still remember these pivotal moments because there's so few. And the Wild, we never went to the Stanley Cup, and we lost the North Stars thanks to that butthole guy who owned them and went to Dallas because he was accused of inappropriate sexual stuff. So Linda says, go Nuggets. The Nuggets are good. The fact that you have that Joker guy, he's so good. But I think that Murray guy is hurt. I felt bad for him. Something happened to his arm, Linda, because he was killing it for 3 games. I thought we were done. Then something's wrong with Murray's arm. And Gordon, he's got to take a nap. He's too good. He's got too pretty a hair, and he's got to take a nap. Erica says our team should be called. Almost had that one, right? It's just crazy. Sooners, Dallas. Okay, knocked out Colorado last night. Oh my gosh. Oh, but I hate the Dallas Stars because, of the owner guy who took our Minnesota North Stars. But I was hoping the Colorado would win. But good for Suter. Good for Suter. Good for him. Peach, thank you so much. I am. I'm from St. Paul. Born and raised. And then I left Minnesota when I was 26 and moved out to Arizona. Went back for a year, then moved to California. But my whole family still lives in Minnesota, Wisconsin. So yeah, I love the Twin Cities. It'll always be home to me. And so any Minnesota sports, I'm on board because Minnesota deserves freaking some wins. Okay, we deserve something. I know the North Stars were the coolest. Mike Modano, like back in the day, they had cool colors, cool jerseys. I mean, I had the biggest crush on Mike Modano. He had the worst mullet, hockey hair, I guess you could say. But yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, Caps fan. Not our year. Yeah, hockey is so fun. I love it. Love Katie's podcast. I have to listen to more of Katie's podcast. There's so many of these podcasts, but I feel like her and Dana are kind of going into a direction that is not what the other people are doing, where they're heavily talking about the shows. Her and Dana seem to be not doing that. So I'm less inclined right now to talk or to listen to that. But it does seem like a fun podcast. Chickenhead, thank you for the super chat. Chickenhead says, hey, fun facts. Remember Stassi saying when she left the show, the money she was making before was not what she got when she came back. I don't remember her saying that. Just because my memory's bad on that, but I wonder how much of a pay cut she took after she walked out. So I know I wish Dana would, I think a redeeming thing, or not redeeming for the show maybe. When Dana was on her season, I didn't enjoy it. I just thought it was a horrible cast. The 2 men they brought in, Max and the other YouTuber guy, I thought he was horrible. And so I didn't necessarily enjoy Dana her first time around, but she's definitely grown on me, and I enjoy her now. But I know she has said she doesn't want to come back to Vanderpump. But I think, especially if Ariana's not going to come back, and if they do ultimately bring Vanderpump back, and Katie comes back, she needs a Dana. It'd be kind of great to see. Dana's always been at odds with Sheena too, so that would be good. Dreadfully Ruby says, is it roastable? Is it funny? Do they not mean to be funny? Or isn't so roastable? Okay, I was like, is it? I read that incorrectly. So isn't so roastable, though. Yeah, I figured. Mm-hmm. Susie says, Dana and Katie's podcast is kind of cute. Well, let's all go subscribe. Let's all just be, Lala can do whatever she's doing. And if she wants to go attack podcasters, and someone put on the chat, maybe she's going to go after Tamara, 2 T's in a pod. I haven't been keeping up with 2 T's in a pod, but maybe Tamara said has she said something about Lala? Because that would be a little more interesting. But instead of whatever Lala thinks is happening, because people disagree with her, go over and support Dana and Katie and show them some love and a likes and subscribe and all that stuff. Nana's chili. Nana, are we doing a night pants? Should we agree on here? Let's see. It's 3:00 my time. I got a WALK, these doggos. So we could do, so it's 3. So like 4:30 my time, 6:30 yours. Nana, put it in the chat. Everyone shout out to Nana, the true star of this channel. Peach says, that's awesome. I went from Minnesota. Oh, I love Sedona. You live in Sedona now? I'm always jealous of people that live in Sedona. Oh, I haven't been to Sedona for years. The last time I was there, my husband Shaw was teaching an improv workshop, and the place we stayed was so beautiful. It was at this woman's house, and she was like, her house was beautiful, and directly on, like, you walk out of her backyard and you go on like the trailhead for this like wonderful hike. It was I love Sedona. It's so beautiful. Okay, there you have it, you guys. Nana says 6:30 Central, 4:30 Pacific. We will be going live for our members and also Patreon for a night pants with Nana. Having some fun with Nana, finding out about her chili. So good job, Nana. Good job, Nene. Nana's making chili because Papa is he's going fishing and he likes to eat chili while he fishes. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. Okay. All right. Sounds good, you guys. Make sure you smash that like, leave a comment after the video post. I don't get to all the comments. I apologize for that. We had a really strong group of you guys here today, and everybody giving their opinions. I appreciate that. Shout out to all my super chatters today. Chickenhead PK Neely, Gemini Joe, Nicole, Evelyn, Butterfly, Dreadful Ruby, thank you for becoming a new member. Nicole Larson, Bower of Power, Wanda Lee, Pamela B, Jennifer Shield, thank you for becoming a new member. Jill Christine, Andrea Amaj, thank you for becoming a new member. Lala Buffenmeyer, Wanda Lee, Artist Fleetwood, Peach, my fellow Minnesotan, and Bella Martin, thank you for becoming a member of the channel, you guys. And we will see you very, very shortly. Keep hitting that like. Maybe we can get up to 1,000. All right. And like I always say, enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Bye.